I did pop the live stream in the. Let me go. Okay, that's not gonna work. That's fine. Not even gonna stress about that. Anyway, so I did pop the live stream link in on Facebook so that people can join if they want to ask you guys questions. Because we have a lot of coffee to talk about.
Is there any other way to turn this up? I'm just going deaf. This is awesome.
What?
We're having a hard time
Try
here
to-
because
It was a deaf joke.
Mark, don't be a dick.
Or a Stone Cold Steve Austin joke, I guess.
Right? Okay. I'm gonna play the intro and then we'll be good to go. Ready?
Cool.
Oh, fight.
You're listening to Horror Movies and Shit with your host, Pedantic Jim and Pretentious Mark.
Hey, Mark, how's it going today?
Good, but I've come with receipts, Jim.
Receipts for what?
So, like you try to portray certain things on this podcast, right?
Such as?
But I was very nice to you. And I sent you a message, a text message. Let me finish. About an upcoming horror movie I think you would enjoy.
You are so.
And what was your response to that? Your 2-word response, Jim?
It was fuck off, Mark.
Exactly. So just to pull the curtain back a little bit for our audience. That's
So-
Jim in a nutshell.
Let's pull the curtain back a little further, shall we, Mark? How many times have you tagged me in a post about a movie I told you I was sick of hearing about this week alone?
Oh, I don't read your posts, so I don't know. So I just
you tagged me, Mark. You've
Yeah,
tagged
no,
me.
I know, but I don't read what you actually respond. So I'm just helpful.
You're so full of shit. But
I
enough
want
about you, Mark.
Before we introduce our guests,
Yeah.
I did, I forgive you, Jim, for, your terrible, terrible personality. So I sent you a gift in Facebook. What was that gift?
I'm not even going to discuss that because
No.
it's straight garbage.
No. Tell the audience. They want to know.
So let's introduce our guests first. Then we can go over your garbage.
Okay. Go ahead.
Mark. So we have James and Jenny are here from Sinister Brew Coffee. Mark, do you know who Sinister Brew Coffee is?
Yes, they're the devilishly delicious coffee brewing team.
How? Yeah, I was going to say, how often have you ordered from them, Mark?
I don't like coffee, Jim.
I know, you're psychotic. We know that. There's a reason I don't trust him,
This is going to be a
guys.
very long podcast if he doesn't drink coffee.
I know, right?
Hey,
So-
at least I'm honest. At least, but my wife does. So
Yes, she does.
I can speak to
I
her.
can honestly say that I order from them a lot more than I probably should.
I think we've just sent you your 11th or 12th
I
order.
think it's 11.
That sounds about right because you
Yeah.
guys, they released a new flavor, Mark, and it's a limited edition, so I had to get it, right? Because
Mhm.
I'm crazy about coffee. What is your new limited edition flavor, guys?
It's Apple Anarchy.
It's our apple pie flavor.
Oh
It
my
was for
God.
the 4th of July. We were so late to the game. Every time the holiday comes around, we were like that day going, oh, we should have.
What makes it difficult is that we do have so many flavors, and we were talking today. We're probably going to have to put out a survey to see what we're going to keep and what we're going to kind of like put on the back burner for a bit,
'cause
just
we
to
have
narrow it down.
29.
We have a
right now.
lot of flavors that we like to do it fresh. We like to keep it, as soon as we roast it, we flavor it and we don't grind it until we send it. We don't want a lot of stuff just sitting around.
Yeah, of course.
Do you find that the name drives a lot of the purchases or the flavors? And I bring it up, sorry, just because, pumpkin spice, right? We all know the pumpkin spice stuff. Every October, then people go crazy about it. So is there certain times a year where certain flavors or names kind of catch on?
Well, this is our first year. So we're going through it, as the seasons go. So we're experiencing it for the first time. We haven't gotten to October yet. So
Wow.
But a lot of the names do, like, we try to match them up with the flavors, and we try to find something that we think, because we have a different character for each of our flavors. So we try to make sure that the character represents the flavor in a way that we find fitting for the horror community. I think what drives most of our sales is just word of mouth through horror talk.
It's Jim. It's
yeah.
always Jim.
Jim,
I don't
Chuck,
know about that.
you know,
Chuck, Jim.
so
Jen.
we have a lot of great customers. We love all of our customers. Jim will tell you each time that there's an order placed, a personalized letter comes to the person. I do all the writing for those. Jen does all the artwork. We make it very unique and very personalized to each individual.
They really do. It's an entire experience opening one of their boxes.
And that's great, right? And kind of like niche products have become very popular. You know, if you look at, you know, niche IPA beers or niche this or that, and you know, but I think that personal touch, I think probably, you know, makes people want to keep buying from you.
Yeah.
Along with the taste.
The flavors do too, and if we find that a flavor works, and Jim can attest to this, we've sent flavors to Jim to try out.
Yep.
Some work, some
He's
don't.
our guinea pig.
And you know, but we want to keep it fresh. We don't want to just have the same flavors that everybody has. You know, we're constantly looking to try new things. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then you know we're just out.
We've had to throw out
some money
so
from-
much
yeah.
coffee just because.
We were talking to Jim about an orange that we were doing. We sent Jim an orange.
that
Didn't
did
really
not
blood
work
orange
out.
didn't work out. Then we tried to do a blood orange chocolate,
Did
and
not work
we
out
brewed
at
that for
all.
ourselves and tried it. And if we're not happy, we know no one else is going to be happy. 'Cause
Yeah.
We're kind of coffee snobs when it comes to flavor. Or I like flavor. I like all the flavored stuff, and Jenny likes just straight black. But yeah, so you know, it is the niche, but it's also the flavors, and it's also about how we personalize it for everybody. I think that makes a big difference.
If you don't mind, Mark, I actually asked them about a flavor of coffee and they started making it and it's fucking amazing. I asked so I found them through Chuck on
Coffee.
TikTok. Yeah,
Right.
I found them through Chuck on TikTok, and I don't remember the first flavors I ordered, but I asked if they would ever make a blackberry flavor, and that coffee is so fucking amazing.
And then hence Blackberry Beast was born.
Yep.
Yep, it's beautiful,
That was
and the artwork
Jim's
is
coffee, made
phenomenal.
just for him.
Oh, it's so great. Like if
and
you
that
ever
has
get,
taken off. Everyone loves blackberry.
I
did the
will cry
blackberry,
if that goes away.
Jim's sister actually, she really enjoys the nutty flavors. So
Yep.
we ended up
Yeah.
doing a
Well,
blackberry.
yeah, because she's Jim's sister, so that's comes natural.
And then we started doing decaf because of Jim's mom. So
You did?
Jim
They
has
did?
been everything for Sinister Brew.
So
Coffee.
what I'll say is my wife loves coffee,
Yep.
but she can only drink decaf stuff because it just
Yeah,
keeps
we
her
can
up. She can't go to sleep. So there is a market there for that. I know.
And we could do any of our flavors decaf.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
have a
just
question.
Put it through the decaffeination process. It takes a few extra days, but yeah, we can flavor it up and send it out.
Yeah, if you send us a personal message, because it is only
And-
James and I who work for the whole company.
And
We're
we've
it.
been debating whether or not we were going to like bring this up right away or not, but we are in the works of doing tea and hot chocolate as well.
Oh, nice.
So we're going to do Sinister tea and Sinister hot chocolate. We have a whole line in mind. We're working with some tea manufacturers that do small batch tea, flavored that the way we want it, not just like random. Like it's whatever we want. They will try to put it into a tea flavor for us.
That's amazing.
So how does it work as far as it's just both of you? So how does the whole process work, and how did it start?
So honestly, it was Lady Gruesome, Jenny. She owned and ran several haunted attractions in Salem, Massachusetts. So she's always been part of the horror community. I was in the Army for 10 years, and during all my like deployments and my time away from base, you know, instant coffee in your MRE pouch, it was disgusting. So I became I didn't really like coffee. I didn't like coffee until I actually tried some good flavored coffee. It was way back in the day when like Starbucks was the only place that you could really get decent coffee, and then I became like a coffee snob. And so, you know, my love of coffee and Jenny's horror background, we kind of got together and we're like, hey, we picked up some discounted equipment. You know, we got a small roaster. We only, hence the small batch, we only do 5 pounds at a time. We got some antique grinders, and literally probably for only under 10 grand, we were able to get the coffee equipment that we needed. And so we get the green beans. We work with a supplier here in New Hampshire who works with farms around the world. We get the green beans, we bring them in, we roast them, and 5 pounds at a time. And you know, it took us probably like a good 12 or 15 months to actually learn how to roast and test and to make sure it was
Making
good quality
huge
stuff.
messes in the kitchen.
Oh yeah, I mean thousands of dollars wasted in product
Yes,
just trying to
absolutely.
get the flavors down, and we try to use like all natural flavors. We go through a reputable site online that does they extract their flavors from organic natural
Mhm.
ingredients instead of adding like a lot of alcohols and sugars. I'm not saying we haven't used those in the past because we have. There are some flavors that you just simply can't get that are natural,
Spiced eggnog.
spiced eggnog, things like that. But
I love that
for the
one.
most part, we try to keep it natural. We try to keep it flavorful. We don't want the flavor to overpower the coffee.
Mhm.
Coffee on its own can have a very good taste.
Mhm.
It's just if you have a bad cup of coffee, it's because the way it was processed wasn't done properly.
So, as a non coffee drinker,
Mm-hmm.
I will keep talking about my wife. So she likes coffees, but then she'll put in the special flavored milk stuff.
So
No,
flavors,
no, 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 no.
So
Don't do
so do you have like any suggestions for this type of milk going into it?
that. I do.
Don't ask. That's all, James.
So,
I
yeah.
drink black coffee only.
that's how we're able to kind of work the spectrum a little bit.
Yeah.
I call myself a foo-foo coffee drinker. It's got to be sugared up. It's got to taste good. I taste the coffee that we make prior to adding any cream, but I buy all types of flavored creamers. I use
The whole
mostly I go
fridge
through like
is
Cinnabon flavor.
Mhm.
We have our pistachio coffee. I have a pistachio creamer that goes with it. Usually only like 2 or 3 teaspoons, so it doesn't take a lot.
His blueberry coffee has blueberry creamer. Pistachio coffee is pistachio creamer.
We have our
That's-
Gilly's sea salt caramel. I like to do that with
Oh,
like
that-
a
It-
coffee
it's
like creamer.
it's almost like pairing a wine with a food.
Yeah,
Right.
it is.
So I can tell you what I do with my coffee is I make the
Grandma?
coffee, and I used to always use sweetener like Splenda or Sweet and Low or something. But now with Sinister Brew coffee, I don't use any of that. All I do is I get the Italian sweet cream creamer and add a little bit of that to whatever flavor I'm drinking, and it's perfect.
That was the same way with us. Like when I first started drinking our coffee, I was still adding a lot of sugar to product because that's what I was used to get a good cup of coffee was sugar and cream, sugar and cream.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found it was just too sweet. You
Yep.
know, once we got the process worked out to where we were able to get a good brew, I cut all the sugar and I just used the tiniest bit of creamer just to kind of lighten it up.
Yep.
And that's the best thing about owning a company is we have a variety of flavors to choose from on any given day, and we probably drink coffee is between coffee and water all day long.
I think
Do you
I
ha-
have 5
For you,
bags
I-
of your coffee on my counter right now. 5 different flavors.
All I do is make the coffee and drink the coffee. I don't add anything to it.
No, let's get it right. I make the
That's
coffee and
true.
she drinks the coffee.
That's
Do,
fair.
do you have any sort of branded like mugs or anything like that?
Yeah, we do on our website. We're actually going to come up with a few more. We kind of slouched from the merch side of things, just working more towards the flavors and the roasting procedure. But we do have a lot of ideas coming up for different mugs and different T-shirts and things like that to kind of get the brand out there.
Listen,
If
I
you ever-
work 70 hours a week. So
Yeah,
it's
Jenny's
little
actually a
harder.
postmaster before coffee,
Wow.
and I'm in school full time, and I get some compensation from the VA, a little bit of post-traumatic stress that I suffer from, but I'm here doing the coffee all day long, roasting and flavoring and writing letters and packaging. And Jenny comes home and after working 15 hours a day and does another 3 or 4 hours of artwork and trying to put together new labels, and we talk about new flavors. And so we're pretty much all day. We're up at like 3 a.m. and we're working until probably 9 or 10 o'clock at night most nights.
And Mark, I will say their artwork is amazing. I don't know if you know this, Mark, or not, but
No.
you know that tattoo I got?
What, the horror movies and shit one?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It became irrelevant because of these guys, because they sent us a new logo.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
And,
That logo.
we
What
were
a piece
just
of shit
messing
it
around
looks
doing this
like.
feature like this.
What'd you say, James?
So we were just messing around. We were hoping you'd like it. We didn't expect you to use it. We just, you're one of our you're probably the biggest customer.
For the longest
Woo!
time, you are our only customer, Jim.
Really? I'm surprised by that. But
You've
you
always
guys are
been with us, Jim.
you guys are blowing up all over TikTok, and I freaking love watching it. I think it's amazing.
We're getting some traction. We don't want to get big about it. Like we want to keep doing the quality that we do.
Yeah,
But
of
I
course.
also don't want to work for the post office anymore.
Right. I mean, that's the goal. Let you guys. The horror talk community wants to get you big enough so that you can do this full time, so we can enjoy your.
Yeah,
coffee.
we would love that. We would love to open up a brick and
Well,
mortar.
the goal is a brick and mortar. Absolutely.
Yeah, we have. Our whole goal is to we have several steps in our goals. We have like the hand me down like retro equipment right now. We want to get enough to where we can get new equipment. We want to get a building to open up an actual roastery and a small breakfast lunch place that. I'm sure most of us have been to a brewery where you can kind of look through a window and see the brewing process. We want to do the same thing with the coffee. We want to have our customers see the roasting process as it's happening while we're serving. And honestly, we were going to open up a shop here, leave it to our daughter, and move over to Scotland.
Oh wow!
And open up a branch over there as well. We already have some customers out of the UK that we work with. We just sent a box to the Horror Unboxer on Horror Talk.
Nice.
Daryl Evans
From
out of
Ross Falls, UK.
England, and we follow some Scottish folks as well on Horror Talk. So we want to stay humble about it. We want to keep doing the quality that we do, but we would love for everybody to have Sinister Brew in their home.
Yeah.
It's almost like Voodoo Donut. I don't know if they have that there.
Yeah, we've heard of them. They look fantastic. We've never had them, but they look fantastic.
So like coffee and donuts, right? And they're all horror themed.
Yep.
I know that's an extra step, right? But if you're theming something horror, you're selling coffee. People usually get coffee in the morning. They want something to eat, as you're saying. You want to, maybe serve food.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're so before the coffee, I was, I still am. I'm a home chef. I don't want to say that I'm great at anything, but I like to try new things. I'll find a recipe online like shashuka and just make that, or I made lamb for the first time like not too long ago. It's just I find it very easy. I watch a lot of cooking shows, and that's kind of what drove us to coffee, because we started getting to like a lot of the coffee shows as well. People talk about the different flavors and what's good and what's not. And so I would like to be, while she's running the front of the house with the coffee and customers, I'd like to be in the kitchen, cooking up horror themed breakfasts and lunches.
Mm-hmm.
We have already
Nice.
come up with we have a whole menu of wraps and sandwiches that I've developed, and it's just a matter of getting them horror names, staying within the niche.
Yep.
I'm good with names. Jim?
No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
I don't think that we
Brunch
should
level.
talk
Mark,
about
give me a-
coffee, though.
What's
Yes.
that? I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
James. What'd you say?
Uh-huh.
I said I don't think we put asshole in a bag of coffee. So,
See, see, Mark.
You're
they
only
know you. They
you're
know
only-
you.
seeing one side of the conversation here.
No, Mark. They listen to the podcast. They hear
Yeah.
both
Yeah.
sides.
Who edits the podcast, Jim?
I do very little editing on the
No,
podcast.
who edits the podcast, Jim?
I do.
no,
Yeah.
we actually we do listen. We love the banter that you guys have back and forth. We hear things and we kind of cringe sometimes, but we know that you guys are like just jabbing at each other.
Yeah, most of the time.
We are with one another around the house. So.
I'm very gym protective though.
Yeah.
See, Mark. People love me.
Well, if I order more stuff than Jim, maybe you'll be more Mark productive.
You're too cheap to order
If
more
you
stuff
wanted
than
to
I
beat
do.
Jim at this point, you would have to give us about $1,000.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
have to like create your own coffee, bring your whole family.
Oh, speaking of
But I
that,
think
I
you have it
actually
in you, Mark. Feel free.
my mother has a request, and she told me she would kill me if I don't ask you.
Okay.
She was hoping you could do a decaf Irish cream.
Absolutely.
absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
Well, you let me know when it's ready, and I will.
Give
Order
us
it
till
right
the end of the week. I
Yeah.
have to roast up a new batch,
Don't-
and then I have to decaffeinate it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
the thing
No-
with the
no
decaf
hurry.
is it takes a bit to soak the beans.
Yep.
Because we decaffeinate through the Swiss method,
Right.
so it takes a long time to do the filtering and the. But yeah,
Do-
absolutely.
Take your
do
time.
people-
That's the
do
only flavored coffee she likes is Irish cream.
Awesome.
Do people over here know what an Irish coffee is? I'm sure they do, right?
What?
What an actual Irish coffee is?
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, coffee
yeah.
with whiskey.
I don't.
Yeah. So it's black coffee, whiskey, and then I had a cream.
so part of our,
okay.
Or
our
just
Irish
Baileys.
coffee actually we do a bit of a bourbon flavoring with it as well.
Yeah.
So
Bourbon won't work.
Nope, not bourbon, James.
Irish whiskey.
Listen,
so I started coming up with flavors while I was drinking whiskey, and they just didn't come out very well. The the bourbon was great. The whiskey was great, but
So you
Yeah.
notice that Mark is trying to play an authority on something he doesn't partake in. So don't even listen. to him.
No. I'm
Yes,
from.
yes, yes.
I'm
It doesn't
from
matter if you're there. You don't drink coffee.
No,
let me
but
ask you this, Mark.
but-
What coffee? I mean, what tea flavors are you into?
cheese,
Tea.
teas. I don't drink tea
Oh,
Why are you on this podcast with? No, I'm just kidding.
because I like horror movies.
Hey,
Yeah,
Mark,
like-
what do you?
Yeah,
You
we
just
talked
drink
about
Coke?
horror
What do you
movies, yeah.
drink?
Yeah, I just generally drink like diet soda.
Yeah, that's what.
I'd like, but I've got a very weird sense of taste. Like,
That is not true. You had blue zombies when we were at.
no, I mean like I've got a very limited
I
like
know.
taste range, and I never really got into like hot beverages or like hot coffee or anything. So that brings up the question. Even though I've never tried it, does your stuff work for iced coffee? I'm sure it
Yes.
does.
The blackberry's amazing over ice.
We live in New England. Everything's iced year round.
Oh, okay.
The blackberry coffee, and Jennifer will agree with me because I told her to do the same thing. That blackberry coffee over ice is to die for.
yeah, and everyone said the blueberry as well.
Yeah.
The blueberries.
We actually just had a customer write us a text the other day or a
asked
message
us how.
how to do a cold brew, and they have cold brew pots, and
Yep.
you can put it in the fridge and let it steep overnight, or you can just pour it over ice. Actually, what we do is I have a couple of ice trays that I'll brew up like one of our dark roasts, like a Sinister Jack or
That one's so good.
our Alien Abyss one, or Astral Abyss,
Yeah.
and I'll freeze it. I'll put it in ice cubes and freeze it, and then the next day when I brew hot coffee, I use those to cool off the coffee so it doesn't lose the
Doesn't
coffee
water it
flavor with
down.
the watered down ice.
That's awesome.
So-
Believe it or not, I just remembered that I had a bag of Gentleman Jack and I tried it for the first time the other day. It's so good.
Yeah, it's a very silky coffee. I like
It is.
It's our flagship.
That's our first coffee.
Yep. It's delicious.
So this might be a strange question because you're only like a 2-person team, but I know a lot of people use like K cups.
Yep.
Do you have like a version of those, or is that something in the future that you might think about?
We sell reusable K cups on our website. And,
Okay.
The reason why we went that, we could, there is a machine we could buy to make K cups at home, and it's like $3,000 for the machine, which isn't terrible, but
It's
it's
just
the
not-
waste with the plastic, and you don't get
Yeah.
a good brew out of it. And I think if you have the reusable K cup, you can add as little or as much of the
Exactly.
coffee to fill up as you want to get the strongness.
Yeah, because
Or the
I love
weakness and-
strong coffee,
Yeah.
and some people like a lot. You can't,
That's what we did before we started actually brewing. We didn't even have a brew pot. We had a Keurig, and we
Yep.
had reusable K cups for ourselves, and whatever we roasted and brewed was through the K cup.
take up.
We decided that we wanted to do larger volumes of it because we were using 15 K cups every morning. We got a 12 cup coffee pot, and that's what we use now. So yeah, we do have the K cups. We might look into in the future. I've seen some like biodegradable,
Biodegradable.
like
hold on.
made out like thick cardboard type material, compostable. But we sell the reusable ones, which I think are great, and they're only $1.99. We actually don't make any money off the K cups. We just wanted that to be an option for the customers.
I ordered one. It doesn't work with my coffee maker, but I have one for my coffee maker. And I took that other one to work because it does work in their work.
Yeah, we had, who was it?
Jen,
Jen. Yeah, she
Said that
got
her
a new
K-cup's
Keurig,
not
and
working.
our K cup didn't work in it because they have some sort of rubber thing that you have to use their special.
Yeah.
Yeah, so mine is actually an instant pot coffee maker, single serve coffee maker. So that's why it doesn't fit because it's not designed
Yeah.
with the same
Yeah.
fit as a K cup.
Yeah, I've heard Keurig's very like protective about their own K cups, and they don't
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
people not going through them. But there's a lot of other ones I think probably would still
Yeah,
work.
I mean, you can before I got the one that came with this coffee maker and you guys, I would just go to Publix. They have a 3-pack of them for like $7.
They have some really nice like stainless steel ones that are
Yeah.
actually better. They work better with the brewing, but you're going to pay like $18 or $20 for those. And
Yeah,
we
but you
figured
can.
keep it cost relative. The ones we have are pretty good.
Absolutely, Mark.
Yes, I have an idea. I don't know if you're doing this again. Have a package like a welcome package where you sell like a cup or a mug, one of the K cup things, and some of the coffee as a
Yeah, we're
welcome.
actually looking into that. We've talked about that before. We're pricing out some things. There's this awesome pour over kit that I like that we can get customized with the Sinister logo on it, and it comes in like this nice like leather case. You open it up, it's got the pour over cup, and it's got the pour over pot with it, and we would throw in a couple of our mugs with it. right now we're trying to
Get the coffee better.
we're trying to stay in the niche also and keep it affordable for people. I mean, you go to Starbucks and you see one of their cups for sale for like $25, and
Yep.
it's expensive. We want to keep it to where people can afford it. It's not just that we're not in it to make a ton of money, even though we would like to be successful enough to get Jenny out of the post office, obviously.
It's always about the escape.
But we want like a good quality coffee for people that can afford it. You go to even to a store and you find a bag of coffee for like $18, for a 12-ounce bag, and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and you can do both, right? And I know conventions are a big place where, you can get a lot of word of mouth too. Have you done any conventions?
We're starting to do some of the close local fairs around here, art fairs and things like that. But we have looked into going to what was it?
I used to do Trans World and all those with the haunted houses, so I'd like to revisit with the coffee, and not so much all of my old props and stuff. So hopefully within the next year we'll be able to get some time together to do those again.
We used to have a local coffee shop over in Tampa that would come to all of to Spooky Empire Mark, and they don't come anymore. And it disappoints me because they went to online only. They had a brick and mortar store also, but that's one of the reasons I started shopping around for coffee. And when I found you guys with Chuck, I was like, oh, God, I hope they're good. I hope they're good.
And so the conventions have gone from 0 to 1,000, right? As far as the amount of people going. So, it is an investment to get like a table, but I think you get so much traffic there, and then word of mouth after it.
I've been doing those since the 90s. I've been Lady Gruesome since I was 18 years old, and now I'm getting close to 50. So, I've been in the horror circuit for a very long time, and the conventions will definitely be a great hit once we can get to that.
We talked to Chuck. He's been one of our biggest supporters also from the beginning. He's in Pennsylvania, so there's a couple things in Pennsylvania that he's already set up for us. Even if we can't make it there ourselves, he has a table that he can set up, and we can send product to him. We just talked to somebody. Who was it that did the Reverend guy? I think it's Idaho or something like that, Arizona. He reached out and he wanted to sell our coffee at their local Halloween festival that they have.
Their haunted house is called
Sinister something.
Nice.
But we only talked to him briefly, and we're interested in that. We want to help out people as much as we can. Jim knows that sometimes when we send out our stuff, we give an extra bag or tons of samples. A lot of it is because we care about our customers. We want them to try different things, but also we want to keep it fresh, like we were saying. We don't want stuff just sitting on our shelves. So if we have it that's sitting there and it's coming to a point that it's sell it or get rid of it, we put it in for a customer to have. So if we send a few bags here or there to some of the horror circuit fairs around the United States, that's awesome. We like to go to Trans World. There's some East Coast Haunters was just happened. We were interested in doing that. But if we can get into some of these, we just applied for one for Salem, Massachusetts, and unfortunately they had too many applicants, and because we're so new, we weren't accepted. But we're out there. We're trying to get into a lot of places. We're getting ready to start selling on Amazon as well.
See,
Mark, there a little bit more.
Mark, you should order one of the. So first things first, your sampler pack that you guys started doing is freaking amazing. I think that is genius. I love watching people open that, because I was talking to a friend of mine on TikTok, Pixie, and she was going through it, and she's like, "Oh, I love this flavor. I didn't care for that one, or I love this one." I'm like, I think that sampler, the little samples that you guys do are fantastic. I love that idea.
Yeah, I might order some for my wife.
Yeah.
That really helps us out a lot, because we are still trying to figure out which copies are working and which aren't.
Yep.
So
we've always asked you for 100% honest feedback.
Yeah.
We have the nerdy hillbilly.
Josh.
He just ordered a bunch of stuff from him. Yeah, he's funny.
He is.
But he gave one of our coffees a 9 out of 10. Another one was 7.5. So we're looking to see what works and what doesn't. If it doesn't work, we're going to scrub it and we'll start fresh.
Speaking about that, I owe you guys an apology, because I did do a review of your apple cinnamon fireball one, and I told you it had that earthy tone that wasn't really for me. Turns out it was my mother's creamer. But I will say I prefer the scorching cinnamon much more. That one's so much better.
Yeah. So
do you do it? Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mark.
No, I was going to no finish, and then I'll have a question for you. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that because we're so passionate about it, when we do get a flavor that doesn't work well and people tell us about it, we're not going to say it doesn't hurt. It does. Like, we spend a lot of time doing it, but we also don't want to keep doing it if it's not good. You
Yep.
know, and then there's stuff that we find that we don't think is very good, but other people really do enjoy.
Yeah, which I
Death by
don't.
Chocolate.
I
We're
hate
Pose, we're not a
Death by
big fan
Chocolate.
of, but it seems to be a big hit with a lot of people. And it's not just about us; it's about the customers.
Yep.
So you know, we'll put it out as long as it's going to sell.
Yep.
But if we get some negative reviews, everyone's taste buds are different.
Yep.
You know, someone might like, you know, love coconut cream pie in your face, and someone else might be like, meh.
Yeah.
But you know,
Ray
we want
hates-
to keep most everybody
That's one of my
happy.
favorites. Okay.
Ray hates when I make that coffee because he hates coconut, but
Yeah.
I think it's one of my favorite flavors.
As
I love our whole Carnival concoctions line. I don't think there's
yeah,
a
that's
single
like our
thing.
first line other than Sinister
Yeah.
Jack. I think I'm a big fan of Anna Banana, the banana
Yes.
banana split.
And see, that's the
Banana
thing.
split.
That one has too much of a nut flavor for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not into the nutty flavors.
You,
But
Jim, you
my
love
niece-
nuts.
Mark, shut up. My niece and my sister love it. They think it's amazing.
So,
I
the
just,
thing
I,
is too, like
I'm just saying, Jim. I'm just saying.
shut up, Mark. Nobody asked you.
I think Jim knows this. Not a lot of people realize we have a backstory for all of our characters.
You do.
And I actually started writing like
James
a graphic
spends
novel about it.
days.
I think I posted 4 or 5 parts of a story that I've already started, and it got mixed reviews. It was a little long. There's some TikTok is a fickle beast. Sometimes you can sit and watch something for 2 or 3 minutes, and other times like within
Mhm.
13 seconds you scroll on to something else. You know, so I didn't really like the artwork that went with it. It wasn't up to the par that we had. I tried to use like an automated artwork type thing, and but yeah, I'm still passionate about that. I love to write. I've been doing it my whole life, and I'd like to get the story out there. But every one of our characters ends up coexisting in this one world that I've developed.
And I will 100% attest to that because even while they were playing around with the BlackBerry, I was getting story updates and it was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah,
That's
it's, right
Um,
now we have Senator Jack leaving the town of Ravenshade and
Yep.
meeting up with Anna Banana in the circus line. That's about as far as I've gotten so far. But
That's freaking awesome.
So because I never take risks, but I always have ideas. So to do a brain dump. Do you do like a YouTube channel or anything about how you make it?
We have a YouTube
Yeah.
channel. We just have never had the time.
so we've had a lot of requests for that, and
Right.
it's something that we do want to do. We want to be better prepared for it. Right now, because we're so new, things can get
Yeah.
kind of chaotic sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah. We
you
can
know,
get so many orders
my-
in a day that I have
yeah.
to leave work early, and I'm like, oh my god, and just running to the post office.
In my military side, like I'm a neat freak because of it. Like I have to be organized, and sometimes with the amount that we're rushing around to get everything done with the roaster and the grinding, there's just beans and coffee everywhere.
Mhm.
So we need a facility that has everything like next to each other. We have our roaster right now is out of the house we have a roasting shed that we made, and but the grinding is done in the house, so it's like a lot of back and forth.
Plus, he's not only has that military thing, he also has ADHD. So
I'll start
he's-
one thing and move on to another.
Right. Yeah. Squirrel.
Yeah.
So my two other ideas, real quick before I forget them, because Jim,
Yeah.
stop rolling your eyes. Can you make coffee red colored like blood?
You could add food coloring, yeah.
Right.
But in.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not to set you apart a
But
little
the-
bit.
Yeah, but I mean, that would give it a little a strange aftertaste, I would think.
Well, food coloring shouldn't, right? There's no
well, the
taste.
thing is, like with the food coloring, it would have to go. The flavoring that we add goes onto the beans directly. Before
Right.
If you add anything to the bean itself, it's not necessarily going to come out the same way as after when you grind it.
Right.
So, and then if you have food coloring into the brown stuff, there's a chance that it's going to mess with the coffee pot of the brewer.
Or
The-
So, I mean, I think it's a great idea. We have a lot of
soggy or-
we have a lot of ideas when it comes to the brick and mortar to add
That was the
coloring
brick and
to
mortar,
the
yeah.
blood to make it,
To the
food coloring to
creamer.
the creamer to make it look like blood.
So-
we have a
Because you
lot
could do
of,
like a
great
ruby
ideas.
chocolate creamer or something that would make
Right.
it.
Well, the chocolate milk is probably easier, right?
yeah,
Or sorry,
hot
the
chocolate or something like
chocolate.
that.
Yeah, we could do like a strawberry syrup. You know,
And the
for
syrups
different
would
flavors.
probably be.
Raspberry would be great because raspberry is a darker color. We have the chocolate raspberry. We could,
Because a
you
lot
know,
of
cook the
colors
cup.
don't come up because just like your blackberry, the oil that we use is a very dark color, but it really doesn't come across on the coffee because
Right.
the coffee's dark anyway.
So my last suggestion before I packaging. It would be great if you could have like coffins, right? And that's probably like
No. Their packaging is perfect.
no
Back
no
to the
like
coffin-shaped
coffee.
coffin-shaped coffee canisters, and again, it comes to the price point.
Right.
I know.
Right, they're also
Tea-
looking, but I think it's like $5 per container that we'd have to
Right.
charge to the
Just to the
customer.
customer.
So it just we wanted to keep. I think the packaging. We're always looking to upgrade our packaging. I think that we're doing fairly well right now, but we want
So
to
that-
also keep the cost low for the customer.
I
That-
think you guys.
like-
I think you guys have hit the nail on the head with your packaging.
I think that
I love it.
I think that could be part of like a welcome package, right? With a mug, a T-shirt, the coffin thing, and people would send it to people that they know love coffee and horror, and it would be like a Christmas gift or something like that, and they have everything in one go, and then they'll try your coffee, and they'll maybe come back and just buy more.
Well, I mean,
So, it's awesome because you're bringing this stuff up because it's actually stuff that we have discussed and we've looked into. We think it's a great idea. We've been trying to work on it for the last month or so. It's a matter of where we get the products, how
Right.
much it's going to cost to put it
It's-
together. We don't want to have like a $75 box that has one
It-
bag of coffee.
It's the capital, right? That you have to put in how much you source stuff for.
But, a lot of people have a specific MOQ, minimum order quantity.
Mhm.
So, some of the stuff, like we were talking about getting into the teas, and I was speaking to the manufacturers, and the MOQ is 1,500. So we have to order
So
1,500.
Here's an idea. So you spend some money to make this like awesome box, right? But it's special edition. You send it to some like TikTok influencers or YouTube influencers and have them open it.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's what we've kind of been doing. We get a lot of people unboxing for us, which is great. We would love, honestly, 'cause, again, I've looked at the pour over kit. We look at like huge kits that we want to put together. It just comes down to the cost right now. In the
Oh, yeah.
future, it's definitely
Mhm.
something that we're going to do. It's just right now that what we're putting out versus what we're getting in isn't conducive to having.
Right. And you're in your first year, so
right.
that's the growing pains, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're good ideas down the road, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, I ordered for Mother's Day for my niece and my sister, both. I ordered them coffee, and that would be a great Christmas present. Would be a gift set like that. But I imagine it's probably going to be $75 to $100 a box, because you have the pour over kit, you have all of that stuff, And I agree. Right now may not be the right time, but eventually I think it'd be a fantastic idea.
I think probably within the
Get
next-
some venture capitalists to give you some money, and there you
right.
go.
There you go on
But
Shark
actually,
Tank.
we've been looking at people who do not business loans, but it's like they do business grants for upcoming inspiring businesses.
Yep.
We always look at applying for different funds here and there to get started. We're even actually looking at how much we're going to have left over when we sell our house.
Yeah.
To
Well,
put all this stuff together.
Wow.
What you really need is like a viral meme. Like most recently, Jim, who's the most viral meme right now?
I have no
The
idea.
Hawk 2 girl, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Everywhere is talking about that. So you just have to come up with. But I think that's kind of organic. It's probably hard to come up with.
Yeah,
that.
it's hard to manufacture that kind of
Yeah.
Exactly.
sensation.
Have her spitting on your coffee.
We have pretty good ideas sometimes, but we teeter on that borderline of personal and professional.
Yeah.
If it was our own TikTok, like personally, we could throw some stuff out there, and I'm sure it would either be a hit or miss.
Right.
As a business, we have to kind of, we walk a line. We want
There's
things to be risque, but we don't want to get to a point where we're blocked or banned.
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely true. And
Especially,
it's,
like
I'll be right back.
trying to navigate what's copyrighted, what's not
Right.
copyrighted anymore. I would love, just like I was saying to you the other day, Jim, about having that tagline that keeping Freddie away,
yeah.
Sinister Brew Coffee. That would be fantastic. But
And
I feel the lawsuits.
I'm not gonna lie. That's the first thing I thought of. I'm like, oh god, I know that they didn't use it, but are they going? Would that get them in trouble? That's the first thing I thought about. I'm like,
we do a lot of research on it. There's been
Yeah.
quite a few projects that we had to scrub.
Yeah.
I'll spend days working on something, and then we look at the final product, and we're like, that's going to get us in trouble.
Yeah.
So we just scrub it.
It's funny because when we first started this podcast, it was A's and B's of horror, right? And we would watch a specific movie and then we'd talk about it. But
Yeah.
both of us hated watching movies at that point because it got to be work. We didn't enjoy it anymore. So then we decided, we're going to change it up a little bit, and we became horror movies and shit. But in the interim, we were thinking about new names, and I was like, oh, I really like the Horror Hangout podcast, right? I'm like, that sounds great. And then I realized, oh yeah, that's somebody I follow on TikTok.
Oh,
So I'm like, damn it.
that happens all the time.
Right. So horror
This
movies
is-
and shit was born.
We've done sinister things forever, even with the haunted house, and even when we first came up with Sinister Brew, like there are so many things called sinister.
Yeah.
There was a sinister coffee out in California. Luckily,
There's a
they're
s-
not Sinister Brew coffee.
Right.
But, I mean,
So
it
there's
is
a Sinister
so
Brew
hard.
that's a beer brewery.
There's a beer, yes.
So, and we're actually in the process right now. We do have the LLC, and we're in the process of trademarking Sinister Brew.
Yeah.
Just so we can do more with it and not worry about affecting other people.
Right. So I have a friend at work that orders from you guys now, and
Really?
she asked if you guys do banana coffee.
We can do just straight banana. Yeah, we have the banana nut, but if it's just
If you-
straight banana, we
She
can
she
certainly
wants
do that.
straight banana, is what she,
Yeah,
or
no
like a
banana
banana
nut.
cream pie or something
One of the
like
flavors
that.
I was looking into also was the chocolate banana.
Oh,
We
that
could
could be
do-
really great. That could be really good.
We could use the same cream like from the coconut cream and do like a banana cream.
Yeah, do a banana cream. Yeah.
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 So
But,
if you ever do that, let me know. But she was, because I brought her in a little sample of the blackberry and the blueberry, and she loved
Yep.
them both. And I
Oh,
think
I'm
she
so
ordered the
glad.
blackberry. But-
I'm so glad.
I don't know if I don't know. She ordered one of them because she's like, I keep checking my tracking. It's not here yet. Damn it. I'm like, I know.
Let's,
No, that's gonna bother me.
Let's
Both as a postmaster and a shipper of things.
Well, I
Let's,
told you guys I had that one experience where when I ordered for my niece and when I ordered for myself, it went from you guys to Arizona for 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then came to Florida. I'm like,
so
why?
both of us work for the post office. She's still with the post office. I actually left. I couldn't handle it anymore.
Right.
But they're going through a big change right now.
They're trying to condense all
They're
of the
trying to
shipping
condense
units.
everything, and so all the packages that we're going through straight from New Hampshire to the next facility, they're going from
Right.
like here to like Kentucky or something,
Yep.
and then to a place that's like not even close. And,
Right.
they're trying to condense everything to save money. It's just not really working out for the customer.
Yeah.
But
So-
then again, some of our ground packages are getting there in record time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's the thing. Like normally your packages get here pretty quick. It generally comes straight down, so it's not a problem. But I thought that was so funny because it was 2 packages in a row. I'm like, why are they sitting in Arizona?
right.
I don't
It
understand.
makes no rhyme or reason.
And let me I'll start working on like the I'll go back to the flavor kitchen and try to do up some banana
Yeah.
or banana cream and see how it comes out. If
Yeah.
I'm satisfied with it, then we will come up with something. And
I'm thinking it would be like a more silky flavor, like a coconut if it was a banana cream. I'm just saying the chocolate that we've been getting
yeah, I
is
know.
just not up to par. I'm not digging it.
I love that you guys
But
are so picky about your
definitely put it in
flavors.
the test kitchen and see what we can come up with.
Yeah, I mean, I'll let her know for sure. I gave her an old bag that I had for like 2 years from that other coffee company I was talking about. She's like, yeah, it's okay. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Jim?
It's okay. What?
What's your favorite?
My
Banana cream or chocolate?
between the two, it's going to be chocolate, but not in my coffee. I'm not a big fan of chocolate in my coffee.
Oh, sweet summer child.
Oh,
Mm.
Yeah.
I think blackberry that you came up with is probably top 5 of one of our best sellers.
That's amazing.
Right
I'm
now,
so
blueberry is like at the top of the line.
well, and I always tell everybody whenever they ask about it is blueberry, coconut cream, and blackberry are always in my kitchen.
Yep.
The coconut cream is not a staple. Like I'll order it every other order or something like that, but I
That's
will.
what we just sent you, right? We just sent you a coconut cream.
No, I just got a 1 pound of the blackberry and 1 pound of the blueberry. I already have the coconut cream. Oh no, coconut cream's coming with the apple pie.
Let's
coming
go.
with the
Yeah,
apple
we sent
pie.
the 2
Yep.
anarchies and the
Yep. I can't wait to try that apple pie. Mark, I ordered 2 pounds of it because it's limited edition.
yeah.
Well, that's what limited editions are all about.
I know.
We have to take that off the website like next week.
yeah.
We're
I
like
think we're
almost
down to like
completely out.
one like 8-ounce bag
Yeah.
left of it. and
Oh
it's gone.
wow. I'll stop popping it to people then.
That did not last. That was
Yeah.
that was quick.
What do you guys think of it? I mean, I know you like the flavor, but are you really impressed by what you guys did with
Yeah,
it?
like the so when we first started out, we started doing the apple cinnamon.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't apple cinnamon. It was just we had a few cinnamon variations,
Right.
and then we had the apple that we were trying. And she wasn't a fan of the apple, and I thought of like apple cinnamon, like an apple pie type flavor.
Right.
Um, and I came up with the apple cinnamon fireball.
Mm-hmm.
The fireball flavor that we use is a bit stronger than just cinnamon by itself. So then I backed off of the fireball, used regular cinnamon, and I was doing apple just for myself. And I was just thinking, when it came to the 4th of July, I was like, as American as apple pie, I was like, you know what? I'll try it.
It was like literally 3 days.
Yeah, I worked on it for a couple of days. I thought it came out great. It's got just enough apple, just enough cinnamon, and Jim, like our flavors are there enough to not overpower,
Yep.
but enough where you can taste it.
Yep. And that's what I love.
What this came out to be. It was just like a very like faint but refreshing apple and cinnamon flavor.
That's I can't wait. I'm so excited. You have no idea. I'm so excited. Mark, what flavor are you excited about?
I love all flavors of coffee.
What is your wife like?
So she likes just like plain coffee, but with like different flavored creamers.
What
Sinister
flavored
Jack.
creamers does she use?
Well, it ranges from like the cinnamon to the vanilla, the sweet
You know,
cream.
you,
I don't
you,
know.
you can't ask him. He doesn't know. I am friends with his wife. I will find out for you. And
Yeah.
Get us an address. We'll send you something.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. So sometimes she used to get like all the different like K-cup things, like the varieties. I have no idea. I say, do you want some coffee or what do you want? Okay, I'll just put it there.
Yeah, I'll find out for you guys. We'll get it
For
sorted.
non-flavored stuff, our Sinister Jack. She's a big fan of Sinister Jack. I like the Astral Abyss. Astral Abyss is our single source
But
from
we also have-
Sumatra.
If you
But
like
you know what?
not so dark coffee, we have Clairvoyant,
It's
the
a
medium roast.
Yep.
Because we're clever.
Well, Mark,
Yeah.
she needs decaf, right?
Yes. She only drinks decaf.
The slumbering
The slumbering
ogre. My mother said is amazing.
And as far as tea, she likes like the sleepy time tea or
Can't
that sort of like relaxing tea. So I don't know if
Well,
that
we do have,
works with a horror movie, but or
like I said, we're working with a tea company now. We have some samples on the way. We're starting off with some flavors that we already do with the coffee. So we're going to do like a berry cream flavor. We're doing some
Ooh.
chai. It's like a cinnamon type flavor.
Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds
Spicy.
delicious.
I hope to match all of our characters up with their companion for tea as well. Like
Nice.
we
they
have
could be like their
berry,
sidekicks.
we'll have a tea.
So
And I'm dying to use Egyptian gods. We're gonna
Yeah.
eventually have
He
an
wants
Egyptian
to do an
god line.
Egyptian god line. So bad.
ooh.
So yeah, a lot of our teas, if it happens, if it comes to fruition, which we're pretty confident it will, we're gonna start with an Egyptian line. I think.
Oh yeah,
Egyptian
if you could do a super dark roast coffee and an Anubis type character would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great. Yeah.
So we're looking at a lot of things to expand. We're lucky to have the customer base that we have.
Yep.
Everyone
Car talk is
they blow us up and they're liking the coffee, and we're more about like I said, having a good product for the customer.
Yep.
We want to make some money out of it, but even if this just ends up being a side gig, we want to give a good product more than anything.
Yep. And
So-
you do.
So talking about Egypt, and again, Jim, you know more about coffee than I do,
Mhm.
but I'm the one coming up with all the good ideas.
No, you're the one with no skin in the game, so you're
Is
pretending like you have
there
good ideas.
is there like different types of historical coffee flavors or things that you could like tap into? I'm sure probably most of them are just coffee itself, but
Well, yeah, I mean, because you could do like Blood of the Lamb or something like that, right? If you want to keep with the horror theme.
Yeah. So
I wanted to do a whole like I don't know if you guys remember it was the guy who made the toys. He did the Tortured Souls and the I can't think of it. Anyway, he did a series called Minds of Madness. So I was thinking about that's
Todd
when
McFarlane.
Yes, McFarlane Toys.
Okay.
So that's when I sent Jim the Blood Orange. That was going to be Countess Bethoria, and I wanted
Yeah.
to do that whole line too. That
Yeah.
didn't work out.
And as far as like historical flavors, I mean, as long as there's been coffee, they've added things to it to give it a different flavor. But when we focus on, we don't really focus on flavors from the region. We focus on the coffees that come out of the region, like the different beans, Arabica or Sumatra.
Right.
And then we try to research what is scary or horror related in that area.
Right.
So
Do you-
we
Do you know what I think about whenever you say Sumatra, Jim?
No. What?
Horror movies, Sumatra,
No idea.
Dead Alive, right?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
where the rat monkey came from.
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that. And I just watched one where there was some sort of bug in the desert too that was alive for 1,000 years or something in stasis. I can't remember the name of it.
So, like a lot of the things that we do come up with, we can't really. We can do a knockoff version of something that we see in a movie. We can't
Yeah.
directly say,
I wish.
hey,
Right.
this is Freddy Krueger brew, or anything like that.
So,
Right,
so
but you could do something like The Mummy or
right, public domain stuff, right?
Right.
So we do, yeah, we look at the area and we look to see what historical horrors had happened in that area. It's easy when you come to like vampire myths and werewolves and the mummy, things like that. Cryptids we're a fan of, and we're kind of like on the fence with some of the ones that we have that we want to do because not everybody knows about them. We try to stay with something that
So-
people are going to understand it and
Yeah.
know.
Right, like
So-
you could do a
so-
gin flavor or something like that.
Well-
That's not as specific. Right.
Well, you can actually jump on like the Winnie the Pooh, Mickey Mouse thing now, right? Murder
yeah.
Mickey Mouse.
Mark.
Mhm.
I mean, you could, but we're talking
Yes.
about Egypt right now. We're not
So,
talking
No,
about cartoons.
Well, the thing is,
Never
too, with the
thought it
Mickey
is.
Mouse thing, it's not because it's not trademarked anymore, so we could.
Mhm.
But we do have a competitor whose name is not going to be mentioned that has a contract with Disney.
Yes.
And,
our biggest.
So some of the things that we would look at trying to do is already being done, very cartoony and non-horrified
Right.
versions of Disney.
and not
Yeah.
that
But-
great fluffy
Yeah,
either. I
yeah.
don't.
But just like they're releasing a Mickey Mouse horror movie and they've done the
Dreamboat Willie.
Winnie the Pooh
Yeah,
one,
we saw some of the shorts actually. There's a Mickey Mouse short.
and they're public domain, so you don't need to do anything with Disney. You could just make your own, and then that goes
But
viral.
that's the
right?
thing. It's not Mickey Mouse that's in the public domain. It's Steamboat
Steamboat Willie.
Willie.
Steamboat Willie, yeah.
Well, I know, but you can work your way around that, Jim.
You could.
Winnie the Pooh.
So, like a lot of the things that we've come up with are actually more horrific and bloody and gory than what
We
we're
have
actually
to tone
allowed
down.
to sell. I mean,
Right.
it's too vulgar to be like on the shelf, or
Yeah.
online. I'm sure we could get away with it, but ultimately, we do want to be like in the, in a store that people can pick it up and not have to like go online and wait 3 or 4
Right.
days to get it.
Night of the Living Dead. There's a
Yeah,
horror
we,
that's
we're
public
looking at,
domain.
like some zombie stuff now. That
Mhm.
that is like a huge thing. We're thinking about possibly doing a zombie line.
Yeah.
There's so many different kinds. You have like the traditional like Night of the Living Dead zombies that are just like staggering around, and then you have like the ones from like 28 Days that are like the
The Rage
methed
Zone.
out zombies.
Yeah.
And, so there's different ways that we can play with that. A lot of it too, like anything that's got like a lot of like power or speed. People assume like a lot of caffeine.
Yeah.
We do have a caffeine product that we can put, an all natural caffeine product that we can add to our beans. That's where the Magnus Mighty Brew comes from. It has added caffeine, but caffeine is very bitter, so it takes away from the flavor. So anything that we do has to have a strong enough flavor to overpower the bitterness of the caffeine. But yeah, we would love to do like a whole line of like zombie stuff, like this, especially the ones that are the rage monsters, and try to get people amped up.
You could do a whole Universal Monsters line, like as saying like the Mummy, Dracula, Frankenstein. All of these are public
I
domain.
would adore doing that. That's my
Yeah,
the
we've been talking
Universal
about the
monsters
last
and
like
the Hammer monsters.
for the past week. We've been looking at like vampire. That's
I
what we can do
really,
for a vampire
really-
brew.
Right.
I'm too worried about getting sued on that.
Yeah. I
Especially
probably
the
would.
Universal monsters.
And the thing too, we because we both are creative in this way, not very many other ways. We kind of like to come up with our own thing that's a variation of a vampire's myth or Dracula myth or mummy.
You know what could be
Now
fun?
Nosferatu.
You know what could be fun because you can't get it year round is doing like Frankenberry Count
I would-
Chocula
I
and
would
blueberry.
love that.
But I mean, obviously, you'd call it something like Monster Mash or something like that.
Yeah.
But doing those flavors could be a lot of fun, like around Halloween.
Absolutely. I was looking at actually we were talking to when we were talking to R. Lee, it came across that we were gonna try to do a candy corn
Yeah, flavored
coffee.
yeah.
for R. Lee, but that didn't taste good either.
Yeah.
Because there's
Yeah.
so
So
many
frying.
things that we have great ideas and you taste it and you're like, no.
We want to do like a Frankenstein's monster type brew.
yeah.
We actually have a bronze bust of Frankenstein's monster watching over our beans as we speak.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
store roasted beans so far, so that's pretty cool.
That's
And
awesome.
we've been thinking about doing that. We want something that's recognizable, but also that's original.
Right. Absolutely. Mark,
Okay. Did we want to move on to our topic of the night?
we do have a topic, believe it or not. But I do. So before we move on, guys, give us your socials and your website so that people, because they're going to want to order, can order.
Yeah. So we're just sinisterbrewcoffee.com, at sinisterbrewcoffee on
Instagram.
Instagram and
TikTok.
TikTok. And our Facebook, you've seen that mess. It's just Sinister Brew Coffee. No one follows us. No one watches anything. So
Hey, I follow you and I share
thank
everything.
you. You do. It's absolutely true. We have a
and-
whole 34 followers on there.
You may not know this yet, but I also have Sinister Brew in my link tree on TikTok. So anybody that follows the podcast can go up there too.
Awesome.
Awesome. Oh, and when you go to our website, sinisterbrew.com or sinisterbrewcoffee.com, there's a song that automatically starts playing.
Oh,
Yeah.
That song was actually written for us by Jenny's sister.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
Yeah,
You guys
she
have-
and her husband do that for
You
work.
guys have some of the best music and graphics, like of any business I've seen, and I love it.
I
Oh,
do.
thanks.
I write some of the song stuff. We have like I'm trying to do a whole video. We have a for the carnival line. I have like a carnival line, carnival concoctions rap.
Yeah.
That
Actually, it's really
pretty
good.
good. We just do it just for ourselves.
Yeah.
But
I wanna hear this
work
now.
on, like a video for it.
I want to hear this now.
I'll
This
have to
sounds
send
fun.
that to you.
That'll be fun.
And we appreciate the new design that makes Jim's tattoo defunct now.
Mark does, because the day I got it done, he started sending me text messages. We need to change the logo. I'm like, we already did 2 weeks ago, so shut up.
A tattoo's forever, Jim, just like
It is, and I'm fine
Now
with
it's
it.
an OG, you know.
That's right,
War Movies and
exactly.
Shit tattoo.
So you just have to get the other one next to it. Then
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it on the other calf.
Just
I'm
like
gonna
a
mark
big
you for that one too.
Do a big like red X over the.
It's like Ghostbusters logo.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Jim, what is our topic for tonight?
We were going to talk about because I gave our friends at Sinister Brew the option of what they wanted to talk about, and they like 70s and 80s horror, Mark, and I figured that's right in our wheelhouse.
It is.
So I just figured we'd talk about some of our favorites from that era.
So we will let our guests begin.
If you bring up the Changeling, I'm going to kick you off this podcast.
The
We
Changeling
actually
is one of the greatest ghost stories
It is
ever put on film.
No, it is not. Ghost Story is one of the greatest ghost stories ever put on film.
No, it's not.
Yes. It is.
Anyway, so before we start bickering like the fucking old couple we are,
Well,
let's kick it over to our guests.
yes.
So let's start in the 70s.
Okay, if we start in the 70s, that's harder. Okay,
Yeah.
because you have The Exorcist, The Omen, Alien.
Yep.
That's
Alien.
a lot
we
going
do a
on.
lot of sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
Yep.
But there's also like the kind of the further back you go, kind of the more corny it is when you watch it now.
Yeah.
We have this giant
Yeah.
Vampire Circus poster in the house. We have a lot of horror movie like paraphernalia just kind of hanging around.
I don't know if
And
you
when I
guys
came,
remember.
we haven't seen Vampire Circus in a while. Let's watch that. We just watched it the other night, and it's like laughable.
Yeah.
It's,
Right.
But it's one. It's like you see it as a kid, you're like, oh my god, this is scary, and then you
That-
grow up and you're like, oh, I want this in my living room.
Yeah.
That was
Be,
a Hammer horror, right?
Yeah.
Vampire Circus. Yeah.
be careful because Mark hates nostalgia.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't. Jim just loves nostalgia. He doesn't love anything else. So here's the thing. I think the 70s was like an epoch, right? So you look at the original Universal Monsters.
Mhm.
That was a whole thing. Then over the next few decades, it wasn't. You have a couple of classics here or there, but then the late 60s, you have Night of the Living Dead. You have a lot of the gore stuff from H.G. Lewis. Then it moves into the 70s, and this is where horror really goes big mainstream again.
Right.
Exorcist, Jaws, Alien, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, all of these classics, and you just got over that hippy dippy thing, and after the Charles Manson thing, and things got a little bit more real.
Right.
Yeah.
In the 70s, right?
The 70s were more uncomfy movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot.
Texas
Last House on the
Chainsaw
Left.
it's probably one of my go-tos. What we like, and I hate the word practical effects, but we like when they actually did things, not CGI, not like AI, to get the effects that they needed,
Mhm.
And you see that in a lot of like the 70s and 80s because that's all there was, hate it or love it. Like I love American Werewolf in London.
Mhm.
Who loves
The
Who
transfer-
hates American Werewolf in London?
The transformation
Mark.
scene to
Mark
me, practical wise, like just you had to actually have something that was changing,
Right.
and it just wasn't. And then you fast forward to the 90s when you have American Werewolf in Paris, and
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
it was dumb.
So what I look at in the 70s in mainstream movies, you have such great directors, cinematography. They're very iconic. Whether it's the French Connection, The Omen, whatever, they were very cinematic.
Right.
And in the 80s, we get home video, and we get low budget, and we get just like crazy ideas, right? So I think the 70s were very much a cinematic decade that
Yeah.
a lot of horror movies started to get a lot of traction, and then the VHS revolution just blew it up.
Right.
I can see that for sure.
Yep. I do
I mean,
agree.
we have one of the best-selling 80s horror movies on our big screen TV right now. We're watching Poltergeist.
Love it.
Oh, that's Mark's favorite director.
Yeah, and that's something we can watch 15 times a year. It's
Yep.
it's like one of those comfort movies. You know what's going to happen, but you still have things that kind of give you chills once in a while.
And the big thing about that movie is it's the familial unit that gives you such a strong connection, right? Because you really feel like they care about each other.
The character
Right.
development was fantastic in the original Poltergeist.
And-
When they remade this movie, it was.
Oh, yeah, I know.
had no feeling for any of these people,
And
and we felt so much for this movie that our daughter is actually Carol Ann.
Carol Ann, yeah.
Oh wow.
oh wow.
She's
And,
20 now.
And I think that, although there is definitely nostalgia, right, about the movies you watched growing up,
Yes.
I do think, I don't want to say objectively, but I do think the 70s and 80s offered a lot more in the horror genre
Yep.
than the past decades, again, taking into account maybe the early Universal horror. 90s and forward, I think just the volume, there was a lot of crap, but there was a lot of classics.
You have some that'll stand out that are okay, but like you were saying, back in the 70s, 80s, they actually built a story.
Yeah.
You could relate to the characters in some way. They had character development, and you saw the range of the actors. Or some like Hayden Church here, is that his name? I think
No.
the guy,
Hayden.
the father in Poltergeist.
Oh,
Oh.
Craig Ferguson.
Coach.
No,
Coach,
Coach.
yeah,
Coach.
He did this very
Craig T.
serious,
Nelson.
very like
Craig T. Nelson.
Craig T. Nelson. Thank you. He very serious role. He did very well in this, but then he had the goofy coach show. So you back in the 70s and 80s, you had characters or actors actually had range that could pull off a horror movie. And now I think that
What do you think? Ryan Reynolds doesn't have range?
Ryan Reynolds does have range. People have
Oh, I feel there's something there with the Ryan Reynolds.
so
Explain that.
people bust me up about the whole remake of Amityville
He
or
loves the remake
with
of
Ryan
it.
Reynolds.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that it was a remake, but it was better or trying to be better than the original. It was different, kind of the same storyline, but different.
Kind of.
But it showed range from the character because Ryan Reynolds is very typecast with the way he acts with every single one of his characters is the same, and with this it was different.
Yep.
And that's what you want to see when you see a movie. You want to see something that you know a character, you think you know what's going to happen, and it's just totally different than what you imagine.
Yep.
Jim-
and
Jim-
now, in the 70s and 80s. In the 90s, they moved more towards jump scares or found footage, and it didn't really ring true as much as the stuff from the 70s and 80s, where they actually had like cinematic value in the background as opposed to.
So I always think that the imagination of the 80s filmmakers.
Mm-hmm.
Is that us
Wes
right
Craven, John Carpenter, Frank Henenlotter, like all of these just crazy, whacked out stories,
Yep.
which were just so entertaining that you don't get anymore.
Right.
Can you guys still hear us?
Yes.
Mhm.
Your Jim, you're frozen, so we weren't sure if it was us or you guys.
I wish he was frozen all the time.
Yeah, no, we can still
But
hear
yeah,
you.
so that's the reason we look back at the 70s and 80s just because that's when we were younger, and a lot of things that did happen was scary just because we were younger and we didn't know the world. We didn't know
Right.
what was real, what wasn't. You know, in some of these, and
Yeah,
You-
definitely. Most of the movies from the 70s changed me. Like,
yeah,
I had
the
such a
guy still
love
won't
for
go in the ocean.
I
Yep.
had such a love for puppet horror movies like Ghoulies and
Puppet Master?
Troll.
Ghoulies,
Like those movies with those little squishy puppets that looked ridiculous on camera were some of my favorites.
You know what I loved? What scared the life out of me when I was little must have been one of the first horror movies I ever watched. Was Trilogy of Terror.
Yeah.
Oh
The
god, that
Zuni
doll.
Fetish doll.
Mhm.
The Zuni fetish doll was absolutely so. When I bought my first haunted house, Terror on the Wharf, it was called. I had to have the remake of the Zuni fetish doll at my house.
And plus, Karen Black was so good in there.
Karen
Yeah.
Black was. I loved Karen Black so much.
I have two.
Again, it goes back to the effects that were used back then with the actual puppets. You can look at the like corny ones too, like Gremlins. You know, you
I
go,
love
yeah,
Gremlins.
see, Critters. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love Critters.
We just watched Critters. What, like 2 weeks ago?
I
And,
bought the entire box set.
But you know, getting to the stuff today, and it's getting better. But
Critters, I still will not sleep with any appendage hanging out of the sheets.
yeah,
Hey
I
Jenny,
And it's because of Critters. I won't.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
nice. He's beautiful.
that's awesome.
Timu,
He's
Timu,
fantastic. Timu, really?
Timu. Yep. Same thing for the Critters doll.
That's outstanding. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many things about 70s and 80s horror that
Yeah.
I actually shaped my world.
Yep,
One of the
absolutely.
movies I had never seen until Jenny and I got together was, I think it's House.
Oh, how
Oh, with William Katz.
Yeah, with the clowns were just so ridiculous, but they were
Yep.
Oh,
scared.
you're talking about
Killer Clowns.
Outer Space.
No, what were the creatures
No.
from House though? They weren't clowns, they were
The creatures from House. Oh, the demons.
demons, yeah. They just didn't look they look cartoony.
Yeah, they
Because-
were very
but-
creepy.
Right, like
It was-
Richard Mull and the wife. Yeah, they looked ridiculous.
Wasn't the wife. It was the neighbor, Jim.
No,
Neighbor,
the,
yeah.
there was that. There was the.
Yes. The
woman.
the woman, that was the neighbor, not the wife.
Okay, sorry. Whatever.
You're
That
welcome.
was the guy from Greatest American Hero, right?
Yeah, William
Yeah.
Katz.
And his next door neighbor was
Norm.
Norm.
I liked House 2. Actually, House 2 was the one that Kane Hodder, that was his first,
Yep.
one of his first roles that I ever saw him.
So
And I'm a huge Kane Hodder fan.
Yeah, she
Right.
actually knows Green Hunter. We're
Yeah.
trying to get back into like his world to try to help promote stuff, but
Oh, that's awesome. He's awesome. I literally walked into his chest twice at a convention.
he
And
strangled me at a
he's
convention.
Huge.
He does like that move. That's his go-to move.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we used to hire him, during the month of October. We'd hire Tony Todd, Kane Hodder, whoever we could get a hold of to do signatures for in front of the haunted house. And he was awesome. I'm a huge Kane Hodder fan.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's
I
fair.
love the
Okay,
Hatchet
thanks,
movies,
man.
but I know we're not in that era right now, but I love Hatchet movies.
I like the Hatchet movies. I so want to order the Steelbook 7-disc set that just came out.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
my buddy Colby got one for free, and
oh,
I'm like,
really?
oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. But that's okay. I'm happy for him. Sad for
Victor
me.
Crowley is going to go down in history as one of the greatest slashers. I know he will.
Mark, what's your favorite movie from the 70s?
From the 70s, favorite horror movie, Jim? I take it.
I'm not asking.
Probably
favorite
Alien.
porno.
Probably Alien.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with that.
Alien.
Alien's
Yeah.
one of my favorites for sure.
I mean, like,
the new one.
The original haunted house in space.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why it hurt so bad when they did Covenant, because they took out everything that made Alien successful. They took out the claustrophobia. They took out the sense of dread and
They
they
gave
made it
you
a
a whole
giant
world.
role-playing game.
I will say Alien is a slasher in space rather
Yeah,
than
it definitely
Yeah.
could be.
But
It
yeah,
could be.
you're right. You're on the ship in the first Alien. You're on the ship,
Yeah.
confined quarters. Don't know where this thing
Yep.
is. It's beeping right where you are, but it's not in your area.
Because no
Above
one
or
can
below.
hear you scream in
Yeah.
space.
So it's funny, like a decade later, they had a bunch of similar type movies, but they were under the water.
Yeah.
Deep,
They a lot
um,
of
Deep,
alien movies under the water.
Deep Space Six and Abyss,
The
and
Abyss. Yeah.
Leviathan. Yep.
mhm. Same sort of can't get out of there, right?
Yeah.
You're
Right.
stuck. You're stuck,
Mhm.
and that like the thing, right? The thing is saying,
Yeah,
Yep.
same.
Yeah. That to me is like
Absolutely.
that and the remake. I'm a big fan of. Actually, there's 3 versions of it. The one in the '80s I liked, and then the remake, most recent remake I liked of the thing. It was just such a good concept, you know. Finding something in the ice, it's tens of
And-
thousands of years old. It's I like the concept of it.
and I don't know if you're gamers, but I just found out that they're releasing a remastered version of the Thing game
Yep.
this
Oh,
year.
really?
That would be awesome. Yeah,
Wow.
we actually have 3 PS5s in our house at the moment.
Okay.
We have to have a big screen TV and a PS5 in every room, pretty much.
It's a problem.
It's an issue for us.
So what's your favorite horror games?
I love Diablo,
Yeah, Diablo. We've
Yeah.
been playing that.
Hmm.
but
There was back when I was a kid, I remember on the original Nintendo, Castlevania.
oh
Yeah.
That creeped me out. And looking back now, it's just so goofy, like the
Yep.
graphics and everything. But the eerie music in the background, and then the different characters you could use. It was a cool game when I was a kid, but looking back, it's cheesy.
I love
Wow,
that.
yeah, it's a side scroller, So Resident Evil.
Resident Evil. Is
Oh
good.
yeah, I played every time Resident Evil came out. I had it.
Yep.
Every time. I even bought the Dreamcast for what was it? Dawn of the No. What was it? It was a game that I always used to play at the movie theater all the time. It was the first one that had like the gun, House of the Dead. I had to have the Dreamcast.
The light gun.
Was on that.
I was actually playing. I was in the army when I first played Resident Evil, and I was working night shift. And a friend of mine went on lunch and went to his room and played Resident Evil, and we lost track of time because we were just getting so far into it.
Yep.
We were actually like an hour and a half late coming back from lunch.
But I absolutely hate all the movies. I did not like
Yeah,
single one of the rest.
Yeah, the movies are not the best.
Games are good because you can kind of like you put yourself in that situation.
Yeah, Resident Evil 4 is my favorite.
I don't think I've played 4.
No,
What? What?
3 stars. That
Yeah.
was Nemesis was my favorite.
You've never played Resident
Start playing Resident Evil 4. Okay.
Buy the remake. It is even better.
Our daughter has it. I know she does.
The Last of
Hey,
Us.
can we pause for 1
Last
second,
of
Mark?
Us.
I haven't seen that. I haven't
I
played
had-
it. I haven't seen the show, but I haven't played the game. either.
The games are amazing. The show's
the show
good.
is amazing.
Wow, I got that. I had it on special order, and I went and grabbed it. And my daughter, who's also a wicked gamer, she knew I had picked it up. And when I went to go pick her up from work, because I think she was only 16 at the time, my eyes were puffy, and she said, "No, Mom, no." And I'm like, "He's dead," and I just started bawling.
Yeah, The Last of Us Part 2 is the most emotional. Just in general, like it's not even that thing that happens. It's just your general thing. Anyway, sorry, Jim. You want to
Well,
stop
so
for a second?
I just want to pause for 1 second because I hate to do this, but we have to backtrack a little bit because we actually have some audience questions
Oh.
in our Discord server.
Oh.
Yep.
So Mark doesn't know about the Discord server either, but we have 3 questions about your coffee, one of which we already know the answer to because we talked about it, and that's, do you do all your own designs? And we know you do. The next question is, what is the secret to your affordable, delicious coffee?
Doing it in very small
Yeah.
batches, and we taste test everything.
So we were able to when we started doing it, and I don't want to go into the whole thing because we're still like to get back to the horror movies. But
Yeah.
when we started doing it, we wasted so much money and time and effort in the coffee itself to try to get it right. that when we did get it right, we wanted to do it in small enough batches that we found that the larger the batches that we did, the less flavorful they were.
And it might
So
be our machine.
that's why-
too.
Yeah, and our machine, our roaster is old, so that might be part of it also. But we found that if we did it in 5 or less pounds per batch, it saved us money because we don't have to have hundreds of pounds of coffee or green beans lying around, and the flavor it's much better.
Yeah.
And so we honestly like the cost effectiveness comes from us not caring if we. Some people will say they're going to make it and make it for $6 and sell it for 15. We
Right.
don't do that. We're making like a couple bucks a bag if that. Just a small batch does it, and we keep it small and we keep it low, and we pass the cost on to the customers.
So the last question is from my buddy Veronica. She wants to know, what is the craziest coffee flavor you want to make in the future that you can't make right now?
Oh, we actually do this every week. It's our, what do we call it now? Frankenstein coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens is when we grind coffee for you guys, we always mismeasure. So we weigh the beans. So we'll have the 18 ounce, whatever. Take the beans, we put them in, and then we take it back and weigh it. And we're like, oh God, we're not going to fit this in the bag. We did too much. We take some out, or we put it in this canister.
And we pretty much we mix it all up, so we don't know
Everything.
what we're getting.
Everything you've ever ordered, we have to one.
It's like when you were a kid and you had the suicide soda. You would go to the
Yeah.
fountain and that's what it is. A suicide coffee. We don't know what it's going to taste like.
We have
And,
no idea, and it's different all the time because it's whatever you guys order. Whatever you're ordering.
I do
have
that
a
at my
mashup.
house too, though. If the bag won't fit, I'll put it in I'll put whatever's left in a
Yeah,
separate
okay.
canister, and it just all gets mixed together.
But some of the ones that we're trying right now, some of the flavors are hard to work with.
Yeah.
I've been trying to do the blood orange for a bit, the chocolate and blood orange. That's not going to happen, I don't think. But
I tried to do a mint chocolate, and it
Yeah, that's what we've been
tasted
working on
like
right now.
a foot.
yeah, it's like beef.
That was terrible.
So a lot of it is, just a lot of trial and error. We
did a bacon. We did bacon flavored
was
coffee.
Really?
That was horrendous.
we were talking about maybe doing it, mixing it with some of our maple.
That's what I was just
but-
gonna say. Maple bacon would come out probably really good, I think.
Yeah, it has to be very little bacon. It was so just overpowering, smoky.
The
Yeah.
smell and the taste of it was like a bako.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like bako.
So it was you got the coffee is naturally bitter anyway, and then you add the salty, savory of
Yeah.
bacon. It didn't work. So we have to add something sweet to it.
That's fair.
We haven't even gone back to try it yet. We
Yeah.
were so turned off by it.
I believe I tasted it, and I could almost see the grease on top of the coffee. I'm like, I'm done. I can't.
Actually used it to cook steak that night. So
That's fair. Okay, that answers all three of the questions. So thank you for going back to that.
Jim, what's your favorite 80s movie? Not A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Ooh, that's
It
hot.
would be One Dark Night. I don't know why I love that movie as much as I do. It's objectively a terrible movie. It was not great, but I still love it.
Jim, do you want me to tell you why you love it?
No.
So you just want to be
You're
like
going to say nostalgia, but that
it is
doesn't.
nostalgia.
But it's not, though, because I don't even remember the first time I saw it, but I still love that movie. It's the first movie I ever rented when Netflix mailed you DVDs. Because I loved it so much, and I don't know why.
there's a lot of movies.
Nostalgia.
We like me personally, I enjoyed The Fly. I'm big into like kind of sci-fi, horror.
Is
We
it the
watched,
sci-fi aspect or the body horror, though, of that movie?
Both,
Body
actually.
horror.
Body horror is great.
Yeah.
It was the fact that he was trying to create an actual working teleporter and
Yeah.
what could go wrong with it. I thought it was very outside of the box at the time.
Yeah.
You mix 2 DNAs together, and that's what you get.
What did you
And
What
I
did you
thought
think
for
of the
Jeff
sequel?
Goldblum, I did not see it. I did
No.
see the sequel actually. Yeah.
No,
I
the sequel's
wasn't a
not.
huge fan of it. It was okay for what it was, but it was never going to be the same as Jeff Goldblum.
No,
Hmm.
that poor dog. It just makes me sad. I don't want to ever watch that again.
Yeah, that was an uncomfortable movie too.
Yeah.
How about the original Vincent Price one? Have you seen that?
Oh my god, the ending of that movie is
Fly?
insane.
No,
Yeah.
I have not.
Oh man, the last shot in that movie is so unsettling.
Yeah.
I'll have to. I didn't even know that was out. I thought the So yeah, I'm definitely have to
There,
watch
there
it.
was the original Fly, and I think they did a Fly 2
Oh, I
back in
don't-
the 60s as well. Maybe.
I never saw that. I saw the
Vincent
original
Price was
before.
great.
He was.
I love the Fright. I like Fright Night. I love that.
Mhm.
Vincent Price.
You're so cool, Brewster.
I actually am trying to use a Vincent Price esque voice for our voicemail now for the Sinister Brew
Trying.
phone
Oh, yeah?
number, and
We lost it.
it's pretty good. We'll see if it works out or not.
That was in an episode of The Simpsons
What was?
that somebody like found. It was like some sort of like comic or whatever, and it said call this number,
Oh, yeah.
and they had somebody like sounding like Vincent Price as the voicemail.
I've seen every Simpsons episode there was. I can't think of that one. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, I don't know that one, but it's funny. So, Mark, what about you?
What about me?
Your favorite 80s horror movie?
So there's so many to choose from.
Yeah,
Pick
right.
But
one.
I will say what I think the quintessential 80s movie is.
No, not
No,
quintessential.
no, no,
What
no.
is your favorite?
Is my favorite.
Okay, as long as it's your favorite.
Evil Dead 2.
That's
Oh,
fair.
Yeah,
Evil Dead.
I think that encapsulates everything that was great about the 80s.
Yeah,
yeah. That
the backwards acting, the Bruce
Yeah.
Campbell. Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Bruce Campbell's a genius.
So what are you?
all the Evil Deads actually were really good. I
Yeah.
thought
I like
Army
it.
of Darkness was
Army of
great.
Darkness was.
And then
Yeah.
the series can, and I just had this conversation. Actually, I just did a video about this today on TikTok. Not Army of Darkness. Ash versus Evil Dead continued Army of Darkness so well. I loved it.
It was okay.
Nobody asked you, Mark.
So what are your favorite horror movies? Not 70s, 80s, just whatever.
In general.
Yeah.
Um, What's the I kind of 1408? I thought was
Oh,
good.
I know.
1408. A lot of good jump scares. I've just always been a John Cusack fan. But what's the one with Lawrence Fishburne in space?
Oh, Event Horizon.
Event Horizon. I couldn't think of the name of it. Event Horizon.
Here we go.
Kind of plays on the sci-fi thing that we like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Jim?
Event Horizon is amazing. Jim,
Yes,
how do you rate Event Horizon out of 10?
it's a 6.
And
Hellraiser.
is it in your top 10 all-time horror movies?
It absolutely is.
So you don't have anything else that you've watched that beats a 6 out of 10? For your
Not
top
one that I have as much love for. No.
Yeah. Mhm.
So see what Mark gets a little salty because I put Event Horizon in my top 10, but I knock it down a few pegs every couple of years because with its rating because the CGI doesn't hold up, right? So it
So-
loses a little bit for me.
So you
But I
probably
still think it's a fantastic movie.
you've probably heard the podcast before. So every movie in most people's top 10 are like a 9 or a 10 out of 10. Not Jim though.
No.
Oh, 4 out of 10 is in
I
my
did
top.
not have any 4 out of 10s in my
6 out of 10 is the same. Anyway, sorry, and we will we will stop our bickering.
That's what made us
You're-
famous, Mark.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's getting out of the 80s.
What about you, Jenny? What is your favorite horror movie right now?
My favorite horror movie of all time is The Exorcist. It always will be.
That's fair.
what do you think about The Exorcist 3?
Oh, 3, The Heretic? Is that her?
No, that's
That's
2
2
3 was the one.
in the asylum.
with Brad Dourif and George
Yeah.
C.
Yes, I did. I love that one as well. I thought that was fantastic.
And that's where we disagree. I only enjoy the first one. I thought the other ones were not great at all.
Well,
But,
Exorcist 2
it's,
is not great, but that's where it's absolute genius because it's
Yeah.
it's so crazy and insane.
It's entertaining,
It is entertaining as
even
shit
though
to
it's
watch
bad.
because it's batshit crazy,
Mhm. But,
in my opinion.
Jim, what's the sequel to The Exorcist?
The Exorcist 2.
No, what's the true?
That is not the true sequel.
It
Mark.
is
Shut
the
up. It
true
is not.
sequel.
He's talking
Um,
about the ninth configuration, and it's garbage. It's such garbage.
Bullshit. So who was it written by?
William T.
directed
Blatty,
by-
right?
Yeah, and does it have a character from the original?
Yeah, it has a bit character that's in
Yes,
one party scene.
Yes. Does it have similar themes?
I I honestly don't remember. I've only seen it
Yeah,
once.
I know. Check out the ninth configuration. It's
Please
not.
don't, because you'll probably stop sending me coffee.
Shut your whore mouth, Jim. Um, yeah, it is a cult classic, and
It
there's
is
so
not.
many great genre actors in it, and it has kind of more of the comedy of The Exorcist 3 in it, but it's got that same religious kind of up and down, like, oh, what's really real? But obviously, because it's bloody, you're going to say it's God's real. So anyway, but it's amazing, amazing movie.
It is not.
I really enjoy any of the movies that have to deal with any type of like possession or.
You like The Omen then?
I like The Omen.
devil aspect thing?
Yeah, I like just because I didn't grow up religious. I'm not a religious person, so the thought of that, like, if I had a nightmare, it's being possessed by a demon, and I don't believe in demons.
And I grew up Catholic, so yeah, all that.
Oh,
scares
a
me.
lot of guilt up there.
So then I have a 90s
And
question
it's
for
my
you.
fault.
I have a 90s question for
Of
you.
course,
though.
it is.
Okay.
What did you guys think of Stigmata from 99?
I didn't hate it,
I didn't like it.
but it wasn't one of the top movies that I've seen. I
Yeah.
liked it, but it was entertaining for what it was. But I didn't.
So-
I liked End of Days.
Yeah,
How
there's a little bit more action to it.
How about The Exorcism of Emily Rose?
Yes, I
Shut
love that
up,
one.
Mark.
I-
Shut
I
up.
don't.
I thought that was good.
I didn't
Yep,
like it.
mhm.
What was the Autopsy of Jane Doe? I thought
That was
really-
fantastic.
Autopsy of Jane Doe.
That
That's not really a possession movie per se.
No, it's more of a witchcraft
No, it was-
or
It
supernatural.
was a witch.
Yeah.
possession-y.
You know, and I've been hearing a lot of flack about this on Horror Talk a lot lately. I really like no, what was that one we saw? I can't think of the name off the top of my head. Where he's being interviewed in jail.
Oh, Nefarious.
Nefarious. I
really
like
like
Nefarious.
that.
So I think the problem is a lot of people went in not expecting such a hard right messaging from the
Well, it's
film.
a Christian movie, right?
Yeah.
But so is The Exorcist.
What
Yeah,
really
but-
got me with it is again, I'm a big fan of when an actor shows range,
Yeah.
and I had no idea that he was in the one from Boondock Saints
Yes, Sean
because I
Patrick
thought that
Flannery.
he did a great job in both characters. Just they were so opposite of one another.
How about The Taking of Deborah Logan?
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, you got to check it out. That's fantastic.
It's not a found footage, is it? It's a
It's a
It is.
documentary.
Well, it's a
It's a mockumentary.
Mockumentary.
Essentially, they're documenting an elderly woman's descent into madness or dementia or whatever.
I take that back. It is more of a fan footage than a mockumentary.
Yeah, that's
Well,
that's-
apparently I fell asleep during it, so that tells you how I felt about it.
so. That's good. If you like possession movies, I have a very
Yeah.
strong recommendation. Check out The Possession of Michael King. It's streaming on Tubi. It's amazing.
Possession of Michael
Michael
Caine.
Caine, like the actor Michael.
No,
Caine?
Michael King, King.
Oh,
Caine.
My name is Michael Caine.
poor Michael Caine.
That is the one accent Mark does, no matter where they're from. That's what he sounds like.
Jim, can you do a South African accent for me?
No.
Right?
No, I can't.
Can you do an Australian one?
No, I can't.
So what accent can you do, Jim?
I don't do accents, Mark.
Yeah, exactly. So those who can't do hate.
That's
When I
right.
get angry, my West
Not
Virginia
teach,
accent comes
hate.
out. Only when I get angry, though, does my West Virginia accent come out, and then I sound like a hillbilly.
What did you
Not
guys
that
think
there's
of?
anything wrong
And
with
then
that.
we can just laugh at him.
Right. What did you guys think of Motel Hell?
Hotel Hell.
Motel
I
Hell,
don't-
yeah.
Motel
What's that got
Hell?
to do with possession, Jim?
It
I
doesn't,
don't think
Mark.
I've seen it.
I don't think we
So-
watched that.
It's from 1980. It's available on Tubi. There's a garden scene that scared the shit out of me as a kid. Like
Oh,
terrified
I
me.
definitely have to do that. There was a
Do you-
garden scene. Wow.
Do you remember the garden scene, Mark?
Yes, it's not that great. It's okay. So what are your favorite directors,
Director.
or do you have any, or actors?
I don't know.
Like, is there a director or an actor or something you're like, I don't care what it is, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I don't follow just basic on directors or actors. I have to have a feeling for it when we first see like a trailer. I will say though, like I was a big fan of the show Key and Peele, which is not horror, but
Yeah.
Peele. Jordan Peele actually
when
got
he
into some of the stuff.
redid Twilight Zone. I
Yeah,
love. I thought
some
it
of
was
the stuff that
fantastic.
he's done has come out
It was
pretty good.
He hated it.
I did.
I didn't like Nope.
Nope wasn't very good.
Nope
No.
wasn't good.
That's so funny because that's the only movie he's made that I like.
I didn't like that. I didn't like Nope.
Yeah, so I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff that has, of course, Robert Englund. He does well with pretty much anything he does.
Yeah.
Any actor that plays Michael Myers, just because the mask kind of covers up the actor itself, but it's more of like what the actual content of the movie is going to be more so than the actor. I mean, you see a lot of stuff from like A24. Some of that stuff is good. We watch a lot of the shorts. What was the shorts that we don't like? That there was a certain group of horror shorts that have come out that we just found that were not good at all. So it just basically, to me, it really depends on what the content is.
The thing, yeah.
If you like shorts, I recommend on YouTube checking out Anthony Cousins. He's got like
we
7.
listened to your podcast with him.
So he's got one out there that I thought was just absolutely great. It's called "Every Time We Meet for Ice Cream, Your Whole Fucking Face Explodes." It's 7
That's
minutes.
What you were talking about him having really long titles.
Yes.
I was wondering what you were talking about. Okay.
Yep. So
Definitely check that out.
he also did a couple shorts for Scare Package. He did Scare Package 1 and 2, and one of them is like The Night He Came Home, Part 4, Leonard's Return, or something weird like that. But he really hates short titles, so Frogman was a problem for him.
Yeah.
So he's like, I don't know what we're gonna name the sequel.
Yeah,
We actually just watched Frogman. Yeah.
What did you think?
I enjoyed it. James did not.
Yeah, I did.
That's fair.
I thought it was good. I liked it.
I do like found footage stuff.
I was entertained.
But I just did think that I thought it was too kind of comical at the end. Like with the, I thought the effects that they did were okay for what it was, but just the idea of a frogman and
well, that's a real cryptid, just like you.
I think that that's what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
And it's whether you are okay with it or not.
Right.
So if I go into a movie knowing that that's what it's going to be, I'm okay with it.
Yep.
If I don't know what a movie is and I watch it, I nitpick it to death.
Yes.
And Frogman, I only knew of the cryptid, so I didn't really know what the movie was about. I knew it was found footage or they were out looking for something, but I didn't realize it was going to be like that far into it.
Yeah.
So for me, some of the found footage stuff is like the mystery behind it. You don't really know what happens at the end. This, there's a group of frog people that were, trying to rape women. So it's, for what it was okay, but it wasn't my favorite found footage.
Yeah, and I think they kind of set it up from the start, right? So you kind of know that it's real, right? The whole Blair Witch Project thing, like to go to a classic.
Yep. I actually went to the theater and saw that night because I was a kid when that came out. I honestly thought it was real. It's like, why would they make this into a movie?
It's the marketing too, right? Back then.
Yep, and I 100% was drawn in by the marketing and then didn't watch it ever again because I was so pissed off that it was not real.
But then you get to like Cannibal Holocaust, where the director was brought up in charges because it was so effective that they thought that they actually killed people.
Yep.
So yeah.
Well, but to me, that's what makes a good movie is when people believe it.
Yeah.
Well, back then it wasn't so easy to jump on your phone and go, "Did this? What's good?" It was kind of like a.
Well, I mean, and this isn't a horror movie by any means, but because of my military background, I do watch a lot of the military stuff. I'm obsessed with World War II. So, like when Saving Private Ryan first came out, they actually set up a hotline because a lot of veterans were getting flashbacks from because it was so realistic.
Right.
So I think in any horror movie, especially the found footage, if you think it's real, then they did their job.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think with found footage, if you don't hate the characters, they've done their job because it's so like this is my big issue with. I love found footage stuff, but it's like nobody can stop talking all the time. It's like they can't have a minute of silence of them just doing something. It's like everybody has to talk all the time about what's happening. It's like
we did. It wasn't really found footage. It was more of a mockumentary, the Dybbuk Box.
On YouTube.
It was a short, and it was just one guy, and he did really well with it, I thought. But then he brought in a female character that was his friend, and it was just set the whole movie off to a bad tone.
She killed it.
The movie was great up until then.
It was just a short, but it was really like the whole story was he was making a YouTube about other people making YouTubes about Dybbuk boxes.
Yeah,
And
so
I
he
thought it
bought
was
a
pretty
Dybbuk
good.
box and he opened it and didn't believe in it, and stuff
Yep.
started happening. And then when he brought in the female character, it just kind of like went downhill from there.
I am looking for a movie for you guys. Hang on 1 second. This is one that I. Okay, so there's a movie. If you like the so let me preface this by saying they go through backflips to maintain part of this movie. But if you watch The Uninvited from 2024, it was released by Terror Films. It was quite impressive for a low budget film. It's about these people that are invited to watch their daughter, who has taken off to a foreign country, get married in a ceremony. And that's all I'm going to tell you, because they're like all on a Zoom call or something. But
Sounds like a great rom-com.
So it's not a rom-com. But they're, like I said, they go through some backflips to keep these people on this call. But overall, it's a solid watch, and there are some parts that are truly disturbing. Even for a low budget flick, it's really good. The Invited.
Uninvited.
Terror
I
Films
thought he
released
said
it.
Unnameable at first. I'm like, no one knows that movie. I'm
Yeah.
the only
I
one.
know the Unnameable,
Yep, I know The Unnameable.
the H.P. Lovecraft.
Yep.
Plus, the sequel's really good too.
I
Yep.
like the sequel better than the first one.
It's
I
got
haven't seen
John Rhys Davies, right? He's in it.
Yeah.
Plays Grimly,
That was something
and
over and over again when I was a kid. For sure.
love Unnameable.
In my teenage years. You gotta see that. I gotta find it.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it.
I don't even know where to find it. We gotta watch The Uninvited.
So like if you're talking about H.P. Lovecraft, like the 80s were H.P. Lovecraft, Reanimator, From Beyond. Going into the 90s, I think Dagon, all the Stuart Gordon ones,
Right.
fantastic.
Oh, I forgot she was in it. It's if you're looking for it, it's on Plex or Prime Video.
Okay.
Okay.
It's also on Tubi, it says.
Oh, really? Everything's on Tubi.
Tubi is great.
Oh my god.
I know, I love
We
Tubi.
only found Tubi like 5 months ago,
Yeah.
and it has everything.
It does. You're absolutely right. Hey, Mark, question.
Yeah.
What did you think of Happy Birthday to Me?
I thought it was a fairly decent 80s slasher.
Okay.
It was like, you know me, I'm not a big slasher fan,
No,
but
you're not, but I am.
but I thought it kind of reminded me of April Fool's Day.
That's what
Yeah.
I was gonna ask. Is it along the same lines as April Fool's Day?
Not really. Not really.
Well, not in the ending, right?
Right.
But I think in the execution, it's pretty.
It's pretty similar in execution, but the actual storyline's a little different. So the reason that I loved this movie so much is because my sisters were all
Nostalgia.
obsessed with Little House on the Prairie.
Nostalgia.
And Melissa Sue Anderson is the main character in this movie. So to
Nostalgia.
see her in a horror movie, to me, was like, holy crap.
So did you like Galaxy of Terror,
I don't think I've seen Galaxy of Terror.
the Roger Corman classic with Aaron Moran in it?
Oh, I do like Aaron Moran.
Yeah, exactly.
I do.
Nostalgia.
It's not nostalgia, Mark.
It is nostalgia.
It's not nostalgia. Because the movies that I've seen that I don't like, I still don't like.
You guys
Yeah,
are reminding me of
those
my
are all the
dad
ones that aren't nostalgia.
because my mom and dad fought all the time. And,
Somebody we were recording with Brian from Omitu the other night, and he says, "You guys are like grumpy old men. I love listening to you." Like,
Well, no. The funniest thing is we met
Which
which
Timothy.
one of you is
It's
which
the
one of
odd
you is the putz?
Yeah, it's the odd
him.
couple.
No, the funniest thing is we met Timothy King, the author,
Yep.
in real life because he went to Spooky Empire with us.
Yep.
And I was doing my usual trying to educate Jim and him just being an asshole. And he was like, "Oh my God, it wasn't an act." I'm like, "You can't fake this shit."
Right. I'm getting tattooed at Spooky Empire, and we're live on TikTok, and he's telling everybody they really are like that in real life. This is not an act just for the podcast.
No, I fucking hate Jim with like all my being.
Yeah, we know. We know.
It hurts me so much.
careful. Jenny's getting protective.
Yeah. See, Mark, you're gonna make some enemies. Stop it now.
Oh well, whatever.
Anyway, Mark,
It's all
Oh my god, in
weird.
Galaxy
So-
of Terror, that had Sid Haig in it?
Yes, and Robert Englund.
really? How have I not
Yes.
seen
Yeah,
this one?
Robert England.
Yes, a Roger Corman production.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
I don't
But
think
Mark,
either of us have seen this.
And I won't give away a spoiler. Okay, I was going to say something, but I won't
please
give away. A
don't.
spoiler.
Please don't.
No.
But I do have a question for you, Mark. What
Yes.
about? So we've had this conversation before. Have you guys seen Sleepaway Camp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Deadly Blessing?
What is
Okay,
that?
so watch Deadly Blessing, and then I'll ask my question.
Okay.
So can you ask the
We'll be
question?
back in about 2 hours. Okay.
Can you ask me the question since I've seen both of
Well,
them?
you and I have already had this conversation, Mark.
Have we?
Yeah, we have. It's about the twist. And which one did it better, Deadly Blessing or Sleepaway Camp?
Sleepaway Camp easily,
Disagree. 100%.
easily.
Disagree.
So I
100%.
think this is an invite back to another podcast for another discussion.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But I absolutely disagree with you, Mark. I think Deadly Blessing played that twist off much, much harder.
What a shock! Contrarian Jin. What else?
It's not being contrary, and you can't say it's nostalgia either, because I didn't see Deadly Blessing until 2005.
How do I know that, Jin? I can't
How do
just.
I know that you were actually born in the UK, Mark?
I'm scared.
I have a birth certificate that I could show
Mhm.
evidence for. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You don't sound Irish, so
Exactly. Although when he gets
Well,
drunk,
not
he does.
Northern Irish to be pedantic.
when
Like,
he gets drunk, you hear it. You definitely hear it, especially
Like-
if he says father or three.
father, yeah, father.
what year did you move to the States? If you don't mind me asking what?
I moved here like 22 years ago.
That's how long you've
That-
been living.
But it's funny because I work with some people from the UK, and they've been here a lot longer, and their accent's just the same.
Yeah.
I think I just assimilated.
I always think of, well, it does happen because I had a wicked Southern accent when I joined the military. I was 17, left home, and I came back. I couldn't understand anything anyone was saying. So
Oh,
I have a Southern accent at this point.
When
Oh,
I moved-
I get made fun of from like people like Jim, like from the US, about my accent, and then I went home, and then they make fun of me from my accent there
So
too.
you're
Mark,
pretty
when
much
have
a
I ever
bastard
made-
in both places, right? So
Yeah, pretty much. But Mark, when have I ever made fun of your accent?
So what did you just say about father?
I didn't say anything except you can tell you have an accent when you get drunk.
Yes, okay.
That's not making fun of you. I didn't say ha ha ha.
Yeah, you've never said that before, Jim.
No, I've never said that before, actually.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
oh, look at the time, guys.
Mark, Mark, you're making
Okay.
people uncomfortable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys.
So-
So,
Yeah, we're still here. We heard you. So, Mark, do you want to move into what you've watched?
So the only thing I've watched, again, due to my recent ADHD, I watched the last 2 episodes of The Boys.
I am one episode
I haven't
behind.
watched that yet.
haven't seen anything
No,
about
no,
it. I
no,
don't want to
no,
know
no,
because
no,
I want to
no.
watch it.
So spoiler. So hang on, spoiler. Homelander dies.
You are,
I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding.
but
Um,
you know what you can say about this though, Mark, is this. What is her name? Firecracker.
Mm-hmm.
Like they write some of the best villains. Like what's her name? Storm. What was her name? Anya Cash.
Yes.
The character she played, Storm.
Nazi one.
Yeah,
Stormbreaker.
Stormbringer. They write some of the best female villains. They really do on this show.
Well, you not to get political, but you know who they wrote
Yes, Mark. Yes.
Firecracker after,
Mhm.
and she actually says a specific line from this politician.
Yes, I know.
But anyway, I think The Boys is still awesome. Really transgressive. It's like they don't give a fuck. Love it.
We have not seen that yet. We were interested in it. We were trying to get caught up with Outer Range.
Oh, how is the second season? I haven't seen any of the second
We
season.
haven't
yet.
started yet.
We
We started
started
the
it.
first episode and we forgot everything that happened in that first season, so we had to go back and rewatch. But
So,
we're
I don't
so
want to
busy with stuff. Where there's so many things we're gonna get caught up on.
I don't want to disappoint you, but it was canceled. There will not be a season 3.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard that. That was a.
Oh, sorry. The other thing, I rewatched my favorite movie from last year, Godzilla -1.
Yeah, that I
And
watched that for
it's
the first time.
still amazing.
How was it?
And, sorry.
How was Godzilla -1?
Oh,
It was really
it's. I've seen a lot of Godzilla movies. This one is just so good, and it's more a drama than Godzilla. Like, it's not a goofy Godzilla, but it's great. It's absolutely
That's
amazing.
because I stopped watching Godzilla movies when Matthew Broderick did the one.
No. Forget the American bullshit one. Like, it's on Netflix, I think. Watch Godzilla -1. You'll be blown away. And apparently they made that movie, and it was like $20 million or $30 million. And it looks amazing. So all these like big Hollywood movies that spend $200-300 million look like crap next to it. So
That's
you'd recommend.
like, the American version of it. Like I said, I mean, it was good for what it was. It wasn't Godzilla. It was a
No,
giant
no,
movie. It wasn't
no.
Godzilla at all.
Nope. It was awful. But this is a Japanese one, right? So I also recommend watching the one before it, Shin Godzilla,
Yeah.
which is kind of a different Godzilla type movie, which is more about like stupid red tape and administration getting in the way of solving problems.
Right.
But it's the scariest Godzilla.
Are they in English or are they subtitled?
Subtitled, but you
Yeah.
probably dubbed.
I can't read. I'm from West Virginia.
Well, you can get dubbed. You can get dubbed stuff. Like, I'm sure they're dubbed.
Mark totally missed it.
Sorry, what?
He said
What?
he can't
I
read. He's
just said
from
I
West
couldn't read
Virginia.
because I'm from West Virginia.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I'm just being.
I apologize to anybody in West Virginia listening. It
He's
was a
from
joke.
he's from west of Virginia, if that's the case.
Okay.
You talk good, England.
What
Yeah,
else
there's
you
a
got,
lot
Mark?
of shows that we're trying to get through. We just finished the first season of Three Body Problem. I don't
Oh,
know if
yeah.
you guys heard of that.
I got halfway through it and it just annoyed me too much.
I love
There is a
it.
lot of downtime that they could have had. I'm on the edge now with what's going to happen.
Yeah.
They've drawn me in enough. I don't think the show itself. Some of the episodes weren't great, but the premise is really good, and I'm
Yeah.
interested with it where it goes.
I might actually check out the original, although it's like 50 episodes. But the American one, it's all about like scientists and people who like should know better. And then they're all like, "Oh no, this is too far." I'm like, "Don't you see the bigger picture? Like, why are you being like that?" Like, it just that's yeah. But apart from that, I mean, I liked it up until like.
I'm interested in seeing the original too, though. But yeah, we're so busy. We want to see. We're doing Invincible. I don't know if you guys seen that.
Oh, yeah, Invincible is
It's not a
great.
horror thing, but Invincible is great. But
We even got our son to start watching that.
so there's a lot of good shows out there, a lot of good movies. It's so hard, like you were saying earlier, Jim. Like, it was hard to stay caught up with everything that is out watching it, and you just get tired of it.
Translate the word.
Yeah, right.
And we're the same way. We're so busy with coffee. Sometimes I don't even want to look at the coffee. I just rather watch a horror movie.
Right.
There's so many good suggestions out there from everybody on Horror Talk.
Jim, is there a horror movie about or features coffee?
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
we make
yeah.
a lot of coffee.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We
Stop googling it.
characters of coffee monsters that we were thinking about incorporating into the storyline.
The closest I can think of is like the stuff,
That's not coffee.
and I know it's not coffee, but it's something people consume.
No.
and it's-
You specifically asked if there was a horror movie about coffee.
I said the closest, Jim.
No, you didn't say the closest. You said, "Is there a horror movie about coffee?"
Sorry, Sinister Brew. Pedantic Jim.
That's right. The closest thing that comes to mind has nothing to do with coffee. It's the coffee table.
We haven't seen
Oh,
that
we
yet
haven't
either.
seen it yet. We're actually.
Jim just literally Googled horror movies about coffee
I did. You're right.
read off the screen, by the way.
I did.
So, again, I come with receipts.
Well, I googled
I
the
didn't-
same thing and I didn't get that.
Jenny, I think your Nightmare on Elm Street one is probably the closest.
Yeah, probably, honestly. Because she does drink a lot of coffee in that movie.
Any
Or Nightmare on Elm Street 3, because it's my
you're
favorite.
afraid to go into your dreams.
Yeah.
I think it's a good place to
Yeah.
I
plug
don't-
Mr. Brew Coffee.
I mean, you should. You
Actually,
should.
one of our customers actually did do that. They did an unboxing,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
the opening scene was from Nightmare on Elm Street.
I'm like, oh no, please don't
You
do
know,
that.
you know what movie is not talked about a whole lot that would be great is Bad Dreams with Jennifer Rubin.
Yeah.
What?
Bad Dreams.
Oh yeah.
What about what did we watch? Dreamscapes. Do you remember that one with?
Yep.
It was Dennis Quaid.
Yep.
Which is kind of a precursor to A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
What's that?
What?
Really?
They
I
were-
mean,
they were
he's
working
just thinking
on, like,
because-
order-
No. So there's a scene.
Matrix.
The snake. He's talking
No,
about the snake.
no, not the snake. There's a scene with the guy from the Warriors, the come out and play guy, and he's the killer in it. And they're on a train, and he grows like knives on his fingers.
I don't remember that one.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I remember the snake guy. That one was creepy. That scared the crap out of me.
That guy had a finger thing because the Warriors too.
Yeah.
Yep. And he was in Commando.
Oh, this
Yep.
guy. Yeah. Okay.
Remember when I said I'd kill you last? I lied. And then he
Yeah.
drops
We,
over.
we watched Dreamscape just like a couple nights ago,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
even though we've seen it, we couldn't remember where we saw
Him.
him
He was
from.
driving us
We're
nuts.
like, oh, Warriors. I had to Google it.
Yep.
Like, oh yeah, Warriors. Come out and play.
That'll forever be him.
Is that all you got, Mark? Have you not seen
Yep.
anything else?
Nope.
What about you guys? Anything else that you want to talk about that you've seen or games you've
Played or-
done in the last little bit?
No, there is so much that we do want to see. We used to just be movie files. We would sit around or cinephiles. We'd sit around, watch pretty much anything. We got to the point where we thought we saw everything and we stopped watching, and we started getting into the coffee. And then now we're too busy to even be caught up with
Yeah.
everything that's out.
We didn't turn the TV on, which is not like us
Yeah.
until like 5 o'clock.
We
Right.
typically we listen to music and brew coffee, roast coffee.
And I'm thankful that you do that. I'm glad that's your thing. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, we like the feedback. Everyone that I speak with, 100% honesty feedback, because that's the only way we're going to grow.
Yep.
The only way we're going to get better. And I'm hoping, in my mind, I'm still coming up with the storyline for the characters, how they all met. I'd like to make it into like a kind of a little mini cartoon if I could.
that could be
I'm
that.
scoping out some artists on TikTok right now that we follow that I might reach out to see if they can actually animate it for us.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's in the future, but it's definitely in my mind.
That's
It's gonna have
awesome.
some horror twist in it. It's gonna be about coffee, but it's gonna be about horror.
That's
Hopefully
awesome.
it'll cover everyone's bases.
Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean.
Oh, my God.
Rowan
Har,
Atkinson.
har.
Yeah. Oh.
I can't thank you guys enough. Everything that Horror Talk has done, you guys are amazing. I can't
Yep.
ask for a better group of people.
Yeah.
I mean, everything
Yeah.
you guys have done for us. And
I want to.
thank you.
You wouldn't get this response if your product wasn't worthy. And I think that's the part that we appreciate is
Well-
you guys put out good quality product that we really enjoy. That's why everybody likes to talk about your stuff is because it's worth it.
I'm hoping that people realize now, and we can always, you guys can spread the word as much as you want, but it's just the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
We can make it if we try. Oh, I'm sorry. So it's just the two of us,
Please don't
but
spread that.
I'm on TikTok nonstop.
Yeah.
Mr. Sinister. People can reach out. They can ask questions. They can ask for certain flavors.
Yep.
Certainly go to the website, sinisterbrewcoffee.com and look at all the flavors. If there's something you want to suggest,
We're all
we're
ears.
open for it.
Yeah.
I tell everybody that I talk to about your coffee about the blueberry or the blackberry and even the decaf. I mean, everybody saw the decaf video, so they all know that
Yeah.
that you guys did it.
How about a mint and orange?
Oh, you're
We
gross,
have
Mark.
mint and orange, but That's like eating an orange after you brush your teeth.
Right, exactly.
It's like having an orange flavored Andy's mint. That's disgusting.
No, we thought about doing like a mystery flavor and not
Yeah.
tell anybody what it is and just send it out and have it be something like that.
It'd be like
But I think we would lose our reputation.
Ugh.
it could be like a
No, it's like the jelly bean thing, right? You know, they do all the
Well,
crazy.
Like if
jelly
Birdie's bought every flavor bean.
but it would be coffee beans. Absolutely.
Ha-
Right?
can-
Got a vomit flavored
Vomit
coffee.
flavored.
No. Here's an idea that's very big on social media right now, right? It's about people eating or consuming the hottest products.
Mark,
Well,
Yeah,
wait,
we
wait,
looked
hang
at
on,
the
hang on.
chili pepper coffee.
There is
Mark-
a chili pepper coffee idea.
That
floating.
that trend is like 5 years old.
Just like your brain. No, it's a big thing, and people are still like blowing up about it because everyone's raising. No, because everyone's raising it, and it's like, oh, it used to be 10 million Scovilles. Now the next thing is 15 million Scovilles.
Yeah, but if we play with our caffeine, people can have heart attacks. So if
Yeah,
we went
exactly.
coffee route, we
Yeah,
could-
imagine how many views that would get, though.
It would get a lot of views, and but the problem is like I
The-
don't want it to detract away from the actual
You-
good coffee
the
that we have.
graphics,
You-
though,
You,
that
you
can
send,
do the
you send it,
heart jumping out of their body.
but
just like-
before they order it, they have to sign a waiver
Well,
online.
it's funny. I actually, when I lived in Maryland, there was a chicken wing place that had thermonuclear 911 chicken wings, and you had to physically sign a waiver before you could eat them.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And that was only like 1.5 million Scoville units. So
Yep.
I'm sure if you did a coffee, we get to like,
Why do
20 or
spicy,
30?
Though that's not spicy. It would be caffeine.
they have
That's
jalapeno.
coffee.
Mark, you're
Yeah.
crazy.
We're thinking of different stuff. We might do a mystery flavor.
I just like to do brain dumps too.
Yeah, well,
You have to have a brain for that, though.
yeah. You're,
Jim, you don't really have any of those. Anyway, you have some dumps, but not the brain sort. Apparently.
Mark.
Mhm.
Anyway, so I guess it's my turn now. So I told you about Sharksploitation. I already watched that. I did watch Laid to Rest, which was actually a surprise. It's pretty interesting, right? I saw it on
Chrome
TV.
Skull?
Yeah. So this is the first one, though.
Mhm.
Chrome Skull is technically the second
Oh,
one.
I know. That's the character, though.
Yeah. I loved the vibe of the movie. I loved how it was pretty much a throwback to the 70s. The practical effects were really solid. But the main character, for the love of God, I wanted her to die. I was cheering for him to kill her. But because every choice she made caused somebody else's death throughout the whole movie. And I'm finally at the point where I don't care anymore. Just get her off the screen. But the way that they killed Chrome Skull in this first movie was pretty fantastic, I thought, and pretty effective. I'm just really curious about how he comes back.
A dog puts his fire on him, Jim.
This is not Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Mark.
No, that's not 3. That will be 4.
4, right? The Dream Master, correct.
Womp womp.
Anyway, and then I today I watched a movie, Mark, that was quite brutal.
Mm.
Real.
Oh,
REEL.
yes. Now, apparently, we have somebody coming on our podcast.
We do. Chris Goodwin will be coming on our podcast.
So, where did you watch Real? Because I have to watch it.
So you watch it. The only place it's available to stream is on realstore.net, REELSTORE.net. The first one is streaming for free. And then the second one you have to pay for, and I don't know what it is. I don't know how much it costs. It is not on any streaming service anywhere. And what I will say is that's probably the most brutal 20 minutes of a film, the final 20 minutes, that I've seen on screen in a very long time.
Well,
I did enjoy it a lot, but it's pretty. There were several times where I was like clenching because it just looked so painful.
so it's worse than the Gremlins 2 ending, Jim.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to ruin it and I don't want to talk too much about it because we do have Chris coming on, and then we're going to have the actual director that is featured inside of Real. Slasher Victim 666 will be coming on the podcast also.
We'll be giving it a listen.
And that and then I did listen to two audiobooks. I listened to Slash Tag by John Cohn, which was a little bit of a slow start, but turned out to be a really good slasher if you like audiobooks. And I don't want to ruin it because it does have a supernatural element to it, but it wound up being really good. I also listened to, I don't know, Mark, if I talked about it, but I listened to Fantastic Land by Mike Backovin, and that is sort of a Lord of the Flies that takes place in an amusement park in Florida. But
so just like an average Saturday in a theme park in Florida.
Yeah, but imagine that theme park has been cut off from the world because of floodwaters. The only thing I did not like about it is how quickly it devolved into savagery, because you had like 9 hours before people started offing each other.
I think I mentioned there's a American Dad episode that's very similar.
I was going to say American Dad did it.
Yep.
And then there was one more book that I listened to on Chirp, and I can't remember the name of it. So pardon me while I pull it up.
Was it the Bible, Jim?
It was not.
Okay. Heathen.
It was Warlock for Hire by Sean Stone, and it's pretty much a typical urban fantasy. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. Not really a whole lot to it. It was a nice fluffy read after reading some of the more disturbing stuff that I read. And that's it for me, Mark.
Okay. So, go ahead, Jim.
I was going to say, James and Jenny, do you guys want to give out your website again so that people can go buy your delicious coffee?
Yep, it's sinisterbrewcoffee.com. You can find us, all of our flavors there. You can also reach out to us on TikTok at sinisterbrewcoffee. Same thing for Instagram. And like I said, it's the two of us, but I'm on constantly, so I will answer any questions and give you any guidance I can coffee-wise.
Yeah, I will not lie. I often think to myself, who am I typing to right now?
I'm usually under the Lady Gruesome one, so if it's Lady Gruesome, it's me.
Yep, I figured that out now. But I do want to say thank you guys both again, not only for your delicious coffee, but for joining us today. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you guys for having us.
You
We'd
do
love to do it
have
again sometime.
you have some homework, so once your homework's complete, we'll have you back on.
Yeah, and Mark, stop picking on Jim.
Listen, I'll put $2,000 worth of orders in right now if you tell Jim exactly what you think about him. Not I'm talking about for real.
I really do love Jim. That's exactly what I think. So I'll be expecting, some dings from Shopify.
No, you don't know Jim. You've never met Jim.
You said what I think about him.
Yeah, Mark is too cheap to ever place that big of an order, just so you're aware. He's got to put all his money into his.
Get her the card. She'll do it.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Don't worry. I'll handle his wife. I've got you covered.
Hang on. What did you say, Jim?
What, Mark?
What did you say?
What?
What did you say, Jim?
I said I will handle your wife and getting.
Oh, what does that mean, Jim?
If you shut up and finish, I'm going to do some reconnaissance.
What's your address?
What?
What is your address so I can come discuss?
None yet. No, but I'll get the information so that they can set her up. Yeah.
No, I'll definitely order some for my wife, and I'll just kind of surprise her with some of the different flavors.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you can't go wrong. All of their flavors are good.
Mm-hmm.
Especially pistachio, right, Jim?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I will say that is, I'm not going to lie to you. My sister goes through that faster than she goes through the black walnut.
And
Yeah,
she
the
created
pistachio
the
is one of my
black one.
favorite.
That's funny.
Yeah, she absolutely adores it because Chuck was talking about it, and that's one of his favorites.
Yeah.
So that's why I suggested that she try it, and she cuts the two together, the pistachio and the black walnut all the time.
Yeah. Oh, we have a new fresh roast of both.
Yeah.
That just came out. So
Nice. She will be happy to hear that because we were just talking about you guys last night, actually, when she called me on the phone. So, okay, well, I'm going to hit.
We said hi. Tell your mom we said hi.
I will do that. I'm going to hit stop.
Hey, Mom, I said hi to.
Mark, shut up. I'm going to hit stop, and then we'll hang
I'll
out for a
tell
couple
myself.
minutes so that everything uploads, and then we'll say our goodbyes. Okay?
Right.
Okay. So the live